Hey, this is Red Band coming to you live from Death Squad Studios here at the Pasadena Ice House for a new episode of Pointless. And now here's your guest, Kevin Pereira.
I am the fucking host. I am not a guest. You son of a bitch.
Did I say guest?
Wow, last week he called me Kevin Pollak. This week, I'm the guest. And where's that? Bring back the 90s. I want to hear that shit.
Oh, shit.
Was it Deftones?
Come on now. It's Deftones, ladies and gentlemen. They have a new album. The 90s are back. Maybe you can't hear me over the sound of my chain wallet hitting my flannel, not your carrots. I'm talking about the 90s. They are back. Chino singing like he only can in the studio, because if you see him live, it's very sad. He has no falsetto. But turn that up, Brian. Listen to that shit. Doesn't it make you want to put metal in your body and tell your parents you hate them?
Makes me want to draw a Sharpie on my sneakers.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all the in-betweeners, welcome to the Pointless Podcast, episode number 6. Five. Is
It's
it
okay,
five?
you're a guest. You don't have to know.
I'm the guest, exactly. But our host today, none other than actress, comedian, hostess, writer, professional hacky sack enthusiast, slackliner.
These are all on my Twitter.
Am I hearing the podcast back through something?
Your
Is that through my laptop? Am I that guy? I'm clearly a guest. The host, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Elijah Schlesinger is here! Oh my God!
Thank you.
90s come blaring back again. Interesting stage name choice, because for those who don't know, your real name is Eliza Hughes.
What?
Aren't you Eliza Hughes?
Who's Hughes?
Didn't you change it to Schlesinger to be
Hughes?
more appealing?
To make it more Jewish?
To make it harder to spell?
Yeah, or to make sure that no one ever says it correctly?
Is it? I've had this conversation with you before.
Several times.
Schlesinger.
Schlesinger.
Schlesinger? God damn it. Eliza Hughes is here, ladies and gentlemen.
What's with the Hughes?
Follow her on Twitter. I don't know. It's just easier.
Is
You
it?
haven't had an agent or a manager say you need to change it up for the sake of the tweens?
No, because they shouldn't be watching my show. And I didn't have a chance to change it. Last Comic Standing happened so fast that I didn't have a chance to just make... I think most people just say Eliza. It's just, there's no other Eliza with an I, so...
Sure.
Whatever.
Yeah. Fuck douche-coo.
Yeah,
What does
screw
she
her.
know?
She didn't know anything.
I'm glad that you went with Eliza as the Twitter handle and not the entire name. Because I went with K. Pereira, and I spend more time telling people how to spell it
Yeah, I don't know.
than anything else.
I had to look it up today.
Yeah. Thank you for taking the time to do that.
You're welcome. I always say when people have long Twitter handles, you're like, this is taking up all the characters.
Yeah, it's like 112 characters.
It shouldn't count. The Twitter handle shouldn't count for your characters. I think.
Tony Hinchcliffe. Perfect example.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we settled that. Ladies and gentlemen, Eliza's in the studio today.
here.
We are chatting about all sorts of insanity. First and foremost, how you said when we first met, you were just a MySpace girl.
I was.
Just a MySpace girl
I
of
was
the
your
week.
MySpace girl of the week, I think 4 weeks in a row.
Wow.
Is that how that
I
works?
took it very seriously.
I don't know how did that work? Oh, is it you could encourage people to vote, right?
And I kept beating people. I may have spread a rumor that one of the girls from West Covina was a Nazi. I may have spread some rumors about her online, but I think she's dead now, so it's okay.
Right. You may have photoshopped some swastikas on her lower back. It happens.
It happens.
So how do you go from MySpace girl of the week to being not that one was a lily pad as you were leapfrogging your way to success, but did it help at all? For those who don't know, we did a segment on Attack of the Show years ago called MySpace Girl of the Week. We would profile women of social networking.
Yeah, let's not Google those pictures.
Oh,
right.
really? We shouldn't?
No.
I'm like probably like 8 pounds heavier, and no one told me how to dress. And what's happening with that?
I feel like Brian is not only Googling the pictures, he's pulling up the video. Is what I
please
feel like
don't
is
do this.
happening. Oh, yeah, this is
Oh,
happening
you had
here.
this ready to go. Please don't do this. Please. I just don't.
Oh, wait, well, talk about bad fashion choices. Look at that. I'm wearing my dad's army surplus.
That's not me.
That's not you at all.
That's not you.
I don't think this is my... It doesn't matter. It never happened.
Yeah,
my
it's
jeans
fine.
are like too short, and I'd never been on TV before. Anywho.
So did that?
There's
So
me.
was that the beginning of anything, or no? That was just something that happened in your life.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Well, you know what? It was the beginning of an online presence. We'll say it that
Okay.
way. Because I did that, and then there are people that have been, I guess, fans, for lack of a better word, since that, and they've stuck with me. And then
That's
I have
awesome.
my own web show, and it carries over. So I think I got kind of in with the nerd crowd a little bit.
Sure, but you didn't try to co-opt a nerd to do it, which I think is a major issue with a lot of people in that crowd. It's not like you saw, oh, these online kids, they love me, so suddenly I play Pokemon and I care
Correct.
about Magic the Gathering cards and hentai.
In fact, in my web show, The Weekly News, I made, although I do talk about hentai in my act, on my web show, I have a girl that does the nerd news, and I just sit there and snore through it.
Right.
It's just not my thing. I don't dislike it. I just don't care.
No, but I appreciate that you saw that you had that community. You wrangled them. You brought them in, but you didn't placate them.
That's right. I wasn't placating.
So you go from building an online presence to your own web show. Is that the show that you did on the stream? Is that what you're talking about?
It is on the stream.tv called The Weekly News, and we had it for about 4 to 5 years.
Wow.
And there's some inner turmoil at the company at the moment, so
Sure.
can't get into that. And I had to stop doing it because of Excused, which took all my time.
Yeah, so, well, do we want to talk about Let's Comic Standing before we get to Excused, or should we hop right into Excused?
We don't have to talk. I mean, if you have a pressing question, although I'm sure they've been answered several times before.
Well, all the press corps is raising their hand. Eliza, over here, Eliza.
Yeah.
Daily Tribune. What's it really like to be on the stage?
Well, once I got over my bout of cholera, it was fine. Yeah. No, we don't talk about it.
What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about Hostess
We
Cupcakes?
can talk about anything, but
We can talk about Twinkies and Cupcakes,
I feel like
that's some bullshit.
We could... That's my butt.
Yep, there's Eliza's butt.
Of course, Red Band found that one. There. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I do squats.
It's a nice butt.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about? Let's talk about Excused.
Okay.
How did you get into that madness?
I auditioned for it. I really wish
Boom.
it was a better answer. Like, oh, they really sought me out. They thought I was so... I auditioned, and they kept calling me back, and I kept reluctantly going. Every time I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here. And they just kept... That's always the way it is. You get the gig that you don't want.
Sure.
And in the end, they were like, look, you can pretty much say whatever you want. We're going to trust your comedic instincts on this one. And it's one of the few jobs where, as a comic, you get to say what you want versus reading lines that someone wrote.
Right.
That's
Were there
actually-
writers on the show? Or
No,
was
it's just me. I just make up everything.
Wow.
All
For those
this
who don't
stuff
know,
is right there.
can you give a Cliff Notes?
It's actually kind of complicated. It sounds complicated. It's actually very simple, but it's like you start off. This is from the first season, so this is not the way the show goes anymore. But it's basically people vying for the affections of the opposite sex, and people are excused throughout the day. So you always have to be on your best behavior, and once you're excused, it's my job to do it in a funny way and kind of heckle you on your way out.
Right.
Just to make sure that you really regret coming on the show.
The humiliation of being rejected on television isn't enough.
Yeah. Do you want-
need to pour salt all over the wounds and rub it in.
Yeah, we have a new website. It's called excusedtv.com, and they're not going to like that I said this, but it looks like a website for herbal Viagra.
What?
You'll see it.
I'm
You
pulling
go to
it
it
up.
right now.
Excuse
Why do you only
TV.
have old clips?
Because it's my favorite clip ever.
This one?
Yeah.
What is this clip?
Oh, where I fall? I really fell. It was I was like cantilevered off the edge of these heels and this awful chair, and I just lost my balance and I fell.
So who comes on to a show like this? Is it central casting?
Mostly
bringing
Sprint
along
store
characters?
managers, nutritionists, actors.
They're not.
People-
There's no one actually looking for any sort of date or love, right? I mean,
Yes, they are, Kevin. They're all looking for love.
Of course. Okay, they're all looking for love, but
Can't betray my brand.
They're all looking for their 5 minutes of fame as well. And so when you deal with people like that day in and day out, like on these shows as you're shooting them, does it skew your perspective of who's actually out there?
No, I get asked this question a lot, actually. We're dealing with just different frequencies of, we'll say, intelligence and life choices. And,
Sure.
and, everybody's got their own path in life, and these are just different. It's a different, these are not, the answer is no. I look for
These aren't people you invite out to karaoke night.
These
in
are people
Koreatown.
you invite to karaoke night,
Okay,
but
these
are
aren't
not
people you invite over for wine and
These are
brie.
not people that I'm having over to mouth kiss and sleep next to me.
Gotcha. That's an important distinction.
There was like one guy on there that one time that was really hot, but aside from that,
Yeah, someone was telling me that when they found out you were coming on, they're like, Aster, it seems like the type that Eliza's into is the tall meathead that doesn't have a light on whatsoever. She's just only interested in the 12 to 16 pack.
On a show like this, like what? That's the only thing I glean from you is that are your physical attributes. It's not like I have a chance to get to know you.
You're not
and-
deep diving about their knowledge or passion of Russian poetry.
Correct. And so if I see something, I mean, I make a joke about it, but I'm not gonna ask these men out. Who knows what will happen? Who knows where I'll end up?
You mean when you ask the show to bring them to your dressing room, they don't actually do it?
Somebody tweeted me that. Yeah, I've no, that would be not only. I think that would be illegal. Actually, I'm pretty sure I signed a contract somewhere saying I wouldn't touch.
Oh, really?
I think I could, but I think that's just then I'm no better than the host of a show that has bring the actresses to my room afterward. I don't want to.
Yeah,
be
or
that
someone
girl.
that creates a segment called MySpace Girl of the Week because he wants to bang hotties from MySpace.
Right from West Covina.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't care if she's got a swastika on her lower back.
If a guy-
Bring her in here. That's a bullseye.
Something to aim at.
Yeah.
I'm helping
I'm
America.
coming on commies. And that's a cause I can get behind. They need a ribbon.
If a guy does it, it's different. If a girl does it, that makes me. If I were to
Empowered.
do
It
that,
makes you empowered.
No, it would make me look desperate. Like I can't get any guys, so bring them to my dressing room and tranquilize them. But yeah, I do. I definitely like muscles, but you don't have to have muscles. That's okay too.
What have you? Do you find as a female in the industry that you constantly have to navigate that other version, that producer, that host, that whatever that is trying to put an angle on you, or are you past that now?
You do have to be aware of it. Mm-hmm. But I try not to put myself in a situation where where I have to think about it, like
where you might have to blow a rape whistle.
Yeah, like I'm not stupid. So if a guy were to be like, "Oh, why don't you come over to my house on a Saturday night? I want to go over these notes." You're like, "Okay," or you can
Right.
send it to my manager and I'll get back to you Monday. Like I think if you put up that wall immediately, or you carry yourself with a certain amount of professionalism, unlike wearing a really tiny tank top to a podcast, I think that people respect that and kind of don't even try to do that.
But when you deep throat and chomp carrots during the podcast,
Sorry,
it kills boners left and right.
So
It's
hungry.
fine. It's totally
Deep throating
fine.
a baby carrot. I'm glad my dad isn't listening.
Oh yeah. Your dad wants to tune in, but he has no idea what a podcast is, which
I was
is
like,
great.
I was talking to him on the phone. And I was like, Dad, by the way, I'm going to do a podcast at noon if you want to listen. And he was like, great. All right. Sounds good. That was it. He doesn't know where or what or how, but he'll
Right
find
now,
it.
he's adjusting bunny ears on an old tube television.
Where did you get that?
Where is this podcast coming in from?
What's a pod?
I just get bars in town. We should talk Hostess, because I'm staring at these boxes of Twinkies. You came in and you commented
Speaking of Hostess.
people are doing a run on these things right now.
Yeah,
And-
I spent a good 2 hours going through every place in Burbank,
Really?
looking for all.
Just
of
because they're endangered doesn't mean they're delicious.
Thank you. And as I was saying, there's a reason nobody bought them when they were available.
They're disgusting.
Yeah, they're terrible. But what's even more terrible is the business ethics of those behind Hostess right now.
Before you enlighten everyone, can I say one thing?
By all means.
This is the first time in a long time here in Los Angeles I haven't seen a product that had Spanish titles on it.
Oh yeah.
I can't, especially a Hostess product in Burbank. I can't believe it's not also in Espanol.
Yeah,
So,
that
wow.
Twinkie should be wearing a sombrero
for sure.
and
made by
drinking some horchata.
And did you even know they had chocolate Twinkies?
No, this is repugnant.
As if the regular Twinkie wasn't repulsive enough. We
Ugh.
figured out how to make its filling brown. For those who don't know, the employee pensions are gone. The Hostess borrowed an estimated $50 million in union-funded pension contributions to try to dig their company out of the hole. And now that they're declaring bankruptcy, all the employees who had their wages slashed over the last few years to try to save the company are now watching their pensions just disappear.
It's such
Go
a
into the ether.
American greed story.
It really is
so awful.
It's Bain Capital with a creamy filling. And not only that, but they're paying $1.75 million in executive bonuses after the CEOs blamed the employees for wanting to not have their wages cut on the downfall of the company.
and they're making it look like it's all the employees' fault. That's so horrible.
It's more disgusting than a Twinkie. It really. It's,
Ooh, that's tough to beat.
I
too.
know. I set the bar pretty high, but it just I don't know. It makes me sick. But you don't eat. You requested baby carrots and water. I'm assuming your diet now is pretty.
No, I just
you're
love
a clean
baby
living
carrots.
girl?
No, not at
No?
all. I just I love baby carrots, and I'm not a breakfast person, and I woke up like an hour ago. So
So there it is by default.
if I had time to buy groceries, I would have etten these at home.
Well, do you not have time? What's your life? What's your schedule? What do you?
Well-
You can wake up at 11, nosh on some baby carrots, and then your day is done.
Just have a nosh. I've been on tour. I have an hour special that I'm recording December 1st in Dallas
Very cool for Comedy Central, for podcasts, for
New
album,
Wave,
for
and then they distribute it to. Hopefully, we get it acquired by Netflix or Comedy Central or wherever it might go. And so I finished Excuse in September, and so I literally got off. I walked off set onto a plane and just have been on tour
Jesus,
every single week.
you're like One Direction.
I'm just like One Direction. I'm just as huge, and little girls love me. And that's it. So I've just been in every single comedy club that I could get into, and across the country. And I just finished my weekend at the Punchline in Sacramento yesterday, and so that was my last gig until the taping on the 1st.
And so where is this taping?
It's going to be in Dallas, Texas, at the Lakewood Theater.
Get her down.
You can get tickets if you go to my Facebook page.
Done.
They're free.
What? Oh, they're free?
They're free. I'm doing it free because I want people to donate money to cystic fibrosis afterward.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's an excellent cause. Is there a
Right.
specific reason you chose that, or
My cousin has it.
Yeah?
And it was, that sounds like...
cousin wrote on your Facebook wall? You're like, okay, I'll pick that one.
I have no other legitimate cause. I mean, you can always donate to the animals and stuff, but people forget that there are humans that need help as well.
Right.
And especially if you're related to someone that has something. I'm not like fortunate to have a cousin that has that, but it's a cause that I could get behind because I know someone that has it.
Okay.
Super inspiring. Go Harley. So you donate.
What's Harley's tale? Let's get some somber music going. Tell us the tale of Harley.
She
That almost sounded like you were singing the Jurassic Park theme. It sounds like that's who you went with, yeah. Cystic fibrosis.
This is my cousin that was born when she was like, I think a couple months old. She was diagnosed with it. And this is a kid who she lives every day. She went to college. She studied abroad. Like she's really, it's inspiring because people with, I don't want to say handicaps, but with ailments always do much more than regular people.
I know, right?
But it's, she's got medicine she has to take and things she has to do, and she just does it. She has diabetes as a result of it, and you would never know it. She's gorgeous. She works in Hollywood.
You know what I love? She defines cystic fibrosis.
Yeah.
Cystic fibrosis
does not
define her.
That's right. She's a little hottie,
I think
too.
that's something. Is she really? How old is she?
Look, she's too young.
Can I send her over on a Saturday to go over
Look
some
at her.
notes?
She's on my Facebook page. You have to scroll down.
What do I have to do? I have to go to your Facebook page now?
Don't act like it's not a tab.
Kids, go for it. It's a home screen. I have to close my browser and reopen it. I was on Space Sticks. Now I'm on your IMDb. So you wrapped Excused. Are you done with Excused? Are you going back to that? What's the word on that?
Well,
Because you defined Excused. I think so.
I did. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, without me, it would have been, oh, God, who knows who they would have gotten.
And it would have been just another show with that person, but I think Excused was because of you.
Would have been just another show on at 4 a.m.
Must have been another show,
You scroll all the way down.
another syndicated show.
I need to get a new headshot. That picture. There she is in the yellow. Right there.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, fibrosis has not aged her. Hello. She has her own .com. What's going on there?
She's running. She's competing. Oh my God, I'm so excited about this. It's like a.
Is this a Miss Cystic
Miss
Fibrosis
California
pageant?
Cystic fibrosis. It's just her. Miss California. I think like U.S. It's like one of those competitions, but she's competing.
That's fantastic.
And
Now,
I'm gonna go. I'm so excited.
Where do you get? You said she's too young for me. What the fuck does that
I
mean?
just mean to stay away from my fucking cousin.
Yeah, I get that, but how?
Is that
there's
bad?
no
I
such
don't know
thing
how
as
old she
too
is.
young.
Is that bad?
That's all right.
She's
If I'm-
25 years old. I actually know her.
She's 20. Do you know Harley?
Yeah.
She's 25.
Do you actually know her really?
No, but
Okay, but
25 or 26, I think.
yeah.
Anyway.
So our special, that's a milestone. Is it
I'm
not?
excited. Yeah, you know what? It's a long time coming, and it's important for me to do this because I feel that a lot of times you watch girls that do comedy, and it's just reductive, and it's so like, I'm going to stand here and tell cock jokes, Plan B
Right.
jokes. Oh, I
Right.
drink. And it's just like, I think my comedy stands out, and I really want to make this just as a way of being like, getting it on tape and being like, this is what it should fucking look like. Not what you're doing. This is what a girl's capable of.
That's a pretty bold statement. That
special-
other female comedians are doing it wrong. And
Not all of them, but the majority of
Who's
them.
doing it right?
I'm doing it right.
Yep, one. That's
Ellen's
one for
doing it
one.
right.
Yeah.
Who else is that?
Whitney?
So now, because now
I'm calling it war paint.
when I hear, so you're not kidding about this. This is a clarion
It's a joke
call for
about
you.
makeup, but it's kind of it's a statement. It's a mission statement.
Who do you think, like someone like Sarah Silverman? Then, when you talk about Plan B and abortion jokes, like, do you think that's doing it wrong, or do you think that's
it's not.
her style?
I mean, it's art, so it's subjective.
Sure.
I get what First of all, I love Sarah, and she's so sweet. And her comedy, it's very her. Like, there's no when you think cute girl, dirty mouth, you think Sarah Silverman.
Right.
That's her brand of comedy, and she's got some really smart jokes too. And I think a lot of girls see that comedy or see Lisa Lampanelli, for example,
Right.
and they think, oh, I can do that too. I'll just mimic that, and they get up there, and there's nothing original about it. And a lot of guys do this too. I mean, we had a whole Dane Cook era of comics that kind of did
Right.
that too. And it's one thing to be influenced. It's another thing. I mean, I spent a lot of my time in comedy clubs in and around LA, and you see girls and guys do this. They want to be actors, so they get 3 minutes together where they talk about their family and rape and
Which are one and the same in
and
the
being
Pereira
single.
household.
And they try to polish this just so they can get an agent or whatever. And it's not. There's no love and there's no passion. There's no
Right.
drive to be storytellers.
It's a means
or
to an
Beyonce.
end to them.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. That's it. It doesn't. I'm not concerned with anybody else as much as I am with myself.
Then how do you define your comedy? I don't want to give any bits that are going to be in the hour unless you want to go into them. But I'm curious, what is it that I've never actually seen you do stand. I've seen clips, and I saw you on Last Comic, but I've never seen you like in a club working a crowd doing your thing.
I think it's a lot of observational things, a lot of self-deprecation, a lot of observations. I really try to stand up for men and women. I think a lot of girls get on stage and they just shit on guys.
Right.
And they're like, men are doing it wrong. And I think men deserve a break, so I kind of side with the guy, and I make fun of girls, but girls appreciate it because no girl ever thinks I'm making fun of them. So they're like, oh, that's everyone else, not me. I'm like, no, it's you.
Right.
It's
it's
me
that
too.
shit girls said thing where every girl watched it and went like, oh,
I
that's
could do
funny
that.
because I know a bunch of girls
I
that
don't
talk
do
like that,
that.
but I've never said totes.
And I talk about crazy things that I do, and I think girls resonate with that. Like, I have a bit about how when a guy asks you, what do you do for fun, you can't be honest. because if a guy knew what you really did when you were alone, like no one would want to be with you. So my whole thing is like, you can't tell a guy what you really do. You can't be like, well, I really enjoy choreographing naked cheerleading routines. Then I Google hentai porn, Facebook my old boyfriends and their ex-girlfriends just to see what they're up to. Then I masturbate, don't wash my hands. Then I watch TV and promise my dog that one day she'll be my wife while I mouth kiss her. Nobody wants to hear this, so you say you like hiking.
I'm really getting into the outdoors lately.
Yeah, a whole bit on hiking. So it's a very honest look at
That's
what
fantastic.
a younger generation of people are really saying. And
Now,
thinking.
do you cyberstalk the exes?
Sure, I cyberstalk all kinds of guys all the time. I have a list of people I check in with.
Who?
On the reg.
Who are you checking in?
Can't tell you that.
Well, I mean, you don't have to.
They might be listening.
You don't have to give specific names. Your dad does not know how to use a podcast. It's fine. I'm
Checking
curious.
with my
Like,
dad.
do you go? Like, are you in a relationship now? Are you recently broken up? Do you talk about that, or is that something you keep secret to?
Just, if I had a boyfriend, I would say that, but I don't have a boyfriend.
Fair enough. So,
but
so the ex-boyfriend, do you still look him up?
I'll check out his Facebook page once in a while. I'm not into him by
Sure.
any means. You know that you're not into someone when you send them an email that's like, how are you? And they write back and you have no desire to write back. He's like, how are you? And I'm just like, I don't want
Well, what was the catalyst behind sending the initial "How are you"?
I was really bored at like 4 a.m. in Sacramento and I had nothing else to do.
You had just finished choreographing a routine.
I didn't talk to him in like 8 months and I was like, I don't hate him. How are you? And he wrote back and I was like, this is a horrible idea.
Oh, why did I open this door?
But like if there's a boy I'm currently mouth kissing or a boy that I'm gone on some dates with or something, I'll check him out. And I actually tweeted this the other day. You know your crush is over when you forget to tweet stalk someone. Like there was one guy that I just
Right.
like every day I'd always check it, and then I just realized that I haven't checked his Twitter in like a couple months. I'm like, oh, I guess that's over.
Did you find yourself putting on a bit of a Twitter facade as well, like shortly after the breakup, doing the whole "look at how much fun I'm having and look at
No.
all the people I'm with and
For
this
my
food is more
ex-boyfriend?
delicious"? For anyone, like, have you ever put on that public face? Because it's a weird. Like, people used to do that. I mean, that's a timeless thing, the notion of, I'm broken up.
Look
and
at
then
all
you,
these dicks!
Right, yeah, you cue the 80s montage, you in hot shorts with a sweatband, just getting...
Just trying on some underwear. What do you guys think? No.
Exactly, yeah.
You-
Baby birding 12 black guys in an alley with a trophy, like, hey, everybody, I'm
So
having
you-
so much fun.
You have seen Excused.
Exactly. Exactly.
I think, you know what, and I think you'd be lying if you didn't say this, that you must, if you're intelligent, you're cognizant of who's following you on Twitter and what you're doing. And,
Right.
everyone, I try not to do anything that I wouldn't be proud of. Like, I don't want to post a picture of me in my underwear, and because then it's on there forever. And even if you did it because you're hoping a guy sees it, 8
Right.
billion other people. I don't have 8 billion followers,
Yeah,
but
but Brian's
roughly
going to pull it
30,000
up during a podcast,
sure.
and it's going to be a photo of you in the hot shorts.
Yeah, I think everybody does that to an extent. But
But
then,
isn't it weird that, because that used to be like a very in-person thing where you'd go like, that's it, I'm getting into yoga and I'm going to work on myself and I hope that I'm going to run into him at the record store. But now you have the ability to every millisecond put on whatever facade you'd
Right.
like about how great you're doing since
Right.
being broken up.
Right. Oh, I totally get that. For him, I don't even think he's on Twitter, so it's not,
But if he were,
I'd probably block him. I think I did, actually.
oh wow.
Yeah, for me, when I'm done, we're done.
Really?
Especially if I feel annoyed in any way. We're like, you get cut off. There is no arguing. There is no back and forth. It's just
Well, what was
done.
the last? I mean, they always say because I've
All
used
your
Bing.
exes?
I use no, not my exes are
All
they're
your
tortured and they blame me for everything and they're absolutely right. But they always say that dating comedians specifically is
He wasn't
tough,
a comedian. I
right?
just want to put that out there.
No, but you were. So like,
I wasn't.
You weren't at the time.
What?
You weren't a comedian.
No, she
Oh,
was
I was a
great.
comedian.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But
Oh,
you were.
yeah.
Yeah, you weren't dating one. What, were you just dusting the mic off with your hair? Did you get excited by the fact?
Dusting
Yes,
for-
I'm a comedian.
Dusting for dick prints. I've seen what these mics have been used for.
Oh yeah. Breadband can get about half that in his down his gully works. Let's see it.
You mean with the tripod on?
Yeah, with the tripod on. Yeah, he's pretty talented. But you were the comedian. So what was what caused the breakup there? Was it?
He didn't live here.
Oh, you were doing the long distance thing?
Yeah, I'm the queen of that. This is the second one in a row for long distance. I'm not doing it again. It's ridiculous. And
Was it appealing at the time because you had so much going on that it was like gave you a chance to do your thing and then
kind of, and he
fly
moved
when you
here
did
and
it?
then he moved back, and it was just very like, look, we're never gonna see each other. And it got to the point where I was like, if you can't manage sending me a text that says good night, then I don't know what we're doing here. And he was like, some boys
There's
are
so
just
much
not into that.
distance, man. So much. I mean, it's like when you're here, you command my presence, but
But when you're not here, I can't even say good night. So I asked for very little, and the fact that he couldn't even give me very little, I was like, what is this? So, but
Is there a softer side of you? Like, I mean, you seem every time I hang out with you, you seem very like tough girl.
Well, Brian, earlier Brian dropped a C-bomb to describe you.
Yeah.
You did? That's so
But he said
horrible.
no. But he said cunty.
I'm not.
Which is cute. That's cute the way he said it. Like, it's a little cunty.
Did you?
Blocker.
That's a
No,
horrible
not at
word.
all. Not at all.
The
It's an
peop-
adorable word.
No, it's awful.
It's my
I
favorite
know.
curse
No,
word.
it's
Don't
not
take that
nice.
away from me. I'm taking it back.
No, because it makes you sound
taking it
stupid
back.
and trashy.
No, it
You
makes
don't
me
want
sound
that.
adorable.
Is this gonna come out?
What are you doing?
just-
Stop breaking the set.
Oh, it's on the thing.
Brian, that's a great question, though. Where's the softer?
Yeah, I mean,
Sears
are you
has a softer side.
yeah.
Do you have one?
Softer side of Sears. You want to know the truth?
I know,
of
you're
course I
ticklish.
do. Oh, don't touch me. Of course I have a softer side, and it's not that it isn't there. It's, I mean, if you ask me a question, the soft side could come out. But not everyone. Here's what guys don't get about girls, and I'm just gonna say this, and I don't care what you think about this, people out there. Not everyone deserves to be let in, and I'm not even talking like sexually. You can't go around just vulnerable to everyone. So if you meet, and you don't know people's intentions in general, and especially as a comedian, especially in the public eye, you can't afford to go around and just be emoting love and gushing everywhere you go, because people will either take advantage of it or you don't know their intentions. And so you put up a tiny wall just because people are creepy. But if I'm your friend or something, it's all love and cookies all the way.
That's it. We invite people over to make pillow forts and play with
Yeah.
easy bake ovens.
Oh, I'm the best host.
I bet.
Best
I
hostess.
bet.
Do you get
Totally.
a lot of road
No.
sex?
No.
Never.
Don't do that. That sounds like a great way to get the herp.
Yeah.
So what do you do after a show? Do you just kind of hang out and then go back to your hotel room with the
Messages
dogs?
to my ex-boyfriend at 4 a.m. Yeah, I do. I go back and I do work. I mean, I know male comics. I know all my friends go out and they're like, I bang a waitress, and I go get wasted. And I just don't. I mean, as a girl, that's not the brightest idea.
Right.
It's just not an option, really. And if I have friends in town, I'll go out with them. But for the most part, I'm exhausted.
Do you travel solo or do you bring friends?
It was just me. And once in a while, I'll bring a feature. But for the most part, I'll do like an hour and 20 on stage. Wow. That's 2 hours. That's 2 shows a night. By the time you're done, you're standing and you're moving. I'm just so exhausted. Like, I'm just spent. And so
And because you're intense on stage also. You're not just like, hi guys.
not just a
how's it
bitch in
going?"
person. It's also on stage. But yeah, it's a lot of moving around. I'm sweating by the end of it. I just want to go back, watch free HBO, and look on Pinterest.
Oh no, you're in the Pinterest trap.
Yeah,
So
I
do
don't give a fuck. I love
Oh.
it. It's so good.
What is it?
Pinterest?
Pinterest. What?
What's Pinterest?
Oh
Is
my
that like
god! Well,
my free cams?
you shouldn't know about it because you don't have a skirt, and it's not like my free cams. It's an online like mood board for chicks to share photos of cakes and sundresses.
I have,
and
I have a whole thing. I pin all the cakes I made. That's the
Wow.
softer side.
It's like Etsy, but nothing's for sale.
It's like Etsy. Well, yeah, but it's mostly food. Oh, they have other things, I guess. But I don't want to go on my Pinterest rant. Sometimes they get like a lot. Like, you can tell who's on there. You can tell it's a lot of like Southern girls, because a lot of them are about Jesus and weddings. Perfect wedding. Do it for Jesus. And you're like, is there a way to like put a filter on it? I'm not having a wedding, nor do I.
Have you
Jesus
seen
Christ.
I love there's websites now that are crawling all the racism that happens on Twitter and Tumblr and Facebook, and then attaching information about the people that tweet it. They're
Ooh.
busting racists that are saying like, look, we got another insert expletive here in the White House.
Oh,
and,
Jesus.
And it's like 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds saying it, and they're putting up who they are, where they're from, what high schools they go to.
Oh,
what
great. So
colleges they
someone
go
can
to.
kill them for having freedom of speech? Awesome.
No, I don't think that's the intent. I think it's more like a public shaming. Like,
Sure.
hey, you're putting this out there. You're being incredibly racist or bigoted or sexist, or
Right.
you're saying inflammatory things. People
Is
have
it
a right to
mostly
comment
about
back to you. It's
racist
not like they're,
things?
It's you know what? There's a couple different sites. There's one that actually ran the numbers to see on election night where the most racist tweets were coming from,
Where are they coming
and like a score of. By their mathematics, and it's a great report, by their mathematics, a 1 would be that there is an average or sort of normal baseline amount of racial or inflammatory things being tweeted. Alabama had a 9.
I believe
the
it.
night of the election. And it was
But
just like
a state
just
that's
the
not
whole
pulling its
state
weight
lit up.
in any way, shape, or form.
No, no.
What I love about you is you always have interesting tidbits of scientific, factual, mathematic information. You always do your research, and you always know you have your hand on the pulse of all things cool on the internet.
Oh, thank you.
I've always thought that about you.
I like to. There's a lot of spreadsheets up in here. There's a
That's
little bit
cool.
going on. But you know what? I was searching for a mid-show guest today, someone to explain to me, because the moment I saw that something was going on in the Gaza Strip and Hamas was doing
Ooh.
something and Israel's involved and all
Yeah.
that, I went, oh, okay, that section of the world, which I cannot point to on a globe easily.
yeah, you can.
I really can't. I'm not. Yeah, I'm really.
because you're white and Christian.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
kinda
I'm
don't care.
blessed, all right?
That's
and I
fair.
got Jesus in my corner, so I don't have to worry about shit. He's going to save me
fair.
from everything. Don't worry, I'll vouch for you at the pearly gates.
Thank you.
But I really, my lack of knowledge on that whole side of the world and what's going on is astounding to me, and it upsets me. So I immediately said, To the Google sphere. Let's go to the wikis.
Let's find someone that knows more about it than I do.
But holy shit, there are 400 pages of what appear to be somewhat biased reports on what is even going on there, why the Gaza Strip is important, and why we can't wax it, and all this madness. But I brought up that I was looking for like a mid-show guest, and you became awake and passionate about it. Is this something that you can enlighten me on? Or?
I mean, this is people are gonna start to tune off.
I don't give a fuck. It's something that I want to know about.
As a Jew, and you can't say the term Jew, you have to say Jewish, but as a Jew...
Well, let's stop right there because I didn't know you were. So, Brian, let's play some music. Eliza, thanks for joining us today. Really appreciate your time here on the Pointless Podcast. You can check her out on JDate because she be Jewish. Take care, everybody.
What is this music?
This is Take Me Out music. No, as a Jewess...
It's something that...
As an inferior race.
As the best race.
Not inferior, just flawed, fundamentally.
You guys, Nobel prizes your people get.
Hey, you guys run this town, so I'm going to kiss your ass. So let's hear it.
Pierre Witz. That's what you should do. It's just something like... I don't have all the facts, but when you're Jewish, you obviously side with Israel, and most Americans do as well, and Christians do as well, because that's the promised land, and that's a big part of your Bible as well. A big thing is we don't fight dirty. And terrorists do. Terrorists will use children as human shields and women and schools. Israel doesn't do that. So even just on a moral compass scale, we're winning that battle. If I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure. Aside from just standing your ground and not wanting to give up Gaza because we've given up enough already, I think that's the biggest thing. Is just like we're not going to relinquish that control. I think that it's about fucking time we fought back. We're surrounded. Israel is so small, and you're surrounded by countries that hate you. Missiles pointed at you all the time. It's about time they stood the fuck up, and they were like, "Oh, by the way, we have a really powerful army, and we don't give a fuck." And they fought back, and the world's like, "How could you do that?" But they're under attack all the time, and we don't attack. We don't do initial attacks, and if we do, it's never at your women or your children. So, I don't know. We got to side with Israel on this one.
So take a step back, though. For those who are listening to this and they go, "That's great." What's the Gaza Strip?
Gaza Strip is a big piece of land that
it's not like
Palestinians want control of.
When I hear Gaza Strip, I think 3rd Street Promenade. I think like maybe there's a fountain here and there's an Apple store.
Gaza Strip is located at La Brea and Beverly. It's a row of Jewish bakeries near Fairfax.
But if you want rims and system, it's the only place to go.
I thought it was pubic hair.
That's what he made the joke.
Yeah, but how big is the...
It's not big.
It's not big, okay. So
neither is Israel, for that matter.
Sure.
But as I understand it, it's just kind of like, not like the last frontier, but I think Israel has given up certain pieces of land, and this is one more that they want. The idea is to force the Jews out. And if you read your history, we've been forced out of a lot of places, and I think this is one place where we're like, we're not giving it up.
Right.
To be, and so you pick a bone with England. They're the ones that gave us Israel in the first place. Pick a bone with Mr. Churchill.
Now, what's the other side of that argument?
The other side of that argument is the Palestinians are like, we were here first. I woke up one day and all of the signs went from being in Arabic to being in Hebrew. And my argument is, to the victor go the spoils, survival of the fittest. That's how we got this country.
Yes.
America. I mean, I'm just saying, war isn't fair, but this is what happened. And
so do you think
you can live in harmony? And I think that I've been to Israel. There are a lot of Palestinians, if you want to call them, and Israelites and Jews and Muslims and whoever, and they live together in harmony. And there's just certain factions that have an issue with that, predominantly on the other side. For the most part, I think Israelis are pretty cool.
So what I'm seeing a lot of...
Spare me your hate mail. I'm not going to read it, and I'm entitled to my opinion. So.
Well, yeah, that's all I asked you for.
You.
And no, I'm
Spare me your hate mail, Kevin.
Would you got a carrot and a BlackBerry right now,
on,
and we're talking about Hamas. Are you trying to tell your dad how to tune in?
My mom is always texting me. My mom thinks I know nothing. And I feel like she's going to start texting me and be like, stop talking about Israel. You're making us look bad. Instead, she wrote, don't forget to bring my face scrub when you visit me. And your latest financial report. That makes her sound really Jewish.
Wait, does mom handle the finances? Is
no,
she a momager?
But no, not at all. I have a business manager. I have all my own things.
Uncle Sal?
Again, she thinks I know nothing. So she's like, bring me your latest statement. She's positive the world is ending.
Does your mom chomp a cigar at a country club?
Yeah.
Listen here, Eliza.
I'm going to make you a star.
Maury, get over here. I'm moist.
Really?
It's time to get on in this.
It's awful. Moist. Get on in this.
Get on in this.
Get up in this.
It's not kosher.
Oh, Lord Jesus, it's a far.
Some of the things that I've read about this, and again, I wish I could provide a more spirited debate about this, but I truly, I'm ashamed at my ignorance on this issue, and I'm trying to brush up on
Don't
it.
worry,
So I can't.
you side with Israel because
But
you're American.
well, no.
Just so you know.
Well, okay, but
what you do.
But here's my thing: a lot of people are saying, some have said the Iraq and Afghanistan invasions, that those are really going to be seen in several years' time as the tipping point, the beginning of a World War III, a perceived World War III. Others are really saying this could be the beginning of that, because there's a lot of people saying, "Hey, bro, we got your back." To
Right.
every different nation, U.S. of course backing Israel, a lot of other people in the region, even Russia, perhaps backing Palestine. Is that hyperbole? Is that a little much at this point?
Couldn't tell you. I mean, I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Because when
It's not a situation room. I don't know.
you're not Wolf Blitzer?
All I know is that from
I thought you were holding Wolf in your lap.
This is Woof. All I know is that from a podcast studio in Pasadena, I'm talking shit about Israel and Palestine. But if push comes to shove, I'm going underground.
Oh, really?
What am I going to do?
You don't give a shit. You're
I'm
going
not
to the
that
bunker.
tough, Red Band.
Going back to the excused household to talk to dudes in their
Going
12
to-
packs.
I'm going to hold up the fort in Encino and just drink free beer.
So then what is now with excused, that was syndicated, right? Was
It is
not?
syndicated. We are currently airing brand new episodes.
So
we
that
shot a lot of them.
In my head, that means I hear beeps because it's a truck backing up to your house
Of money?
filled with money.
Oh, sorry.
Is that how that works in this day and age?
It's not a truck, but it's a small, I would say a Corolla. Of cash. It's real weird because you get these syndication checks and they vary in amounts. And so some months you're like, ooh, and then some months you're like, oh, okay. And then it actually just got sold in like 11 random countries.
Jesus.
Like Estonia is one of them.
Well, that's like, I know like Tom Green Show plays over there, and he's still living just fine off of
Sure.
the Tom Green Show. Is this the kind of thing where now you are set and can kind of pursue any sort of creative endeavor you want because you don't have to worry about?
Eventually, I mean, yeah, I could probably do that before because of stand-up. Like, I'm very fortunate to have a stand-up career. And so I don't, as far as Excuse goes, it's a total stepping stone. This is not what I dreamt of doing when I was a little
Sure.
girl. And it's a cool opportunity. And, I get that it's a dating show, but I love doing stand-up, and that lifestyle because you're in town during the week, it allows me to do whatever I want. I'm very fortunate because I have a lot of friends who do stand-up and they make no money and they're struggling just to be able to do stand-up.
Right.
So it's nice to have that extra money. I mean, Excuse took up a lot of time. That's like 5 months of your life where you do nothing. But I mean, it's one show a day, 130 episodes. We have 230 done.
When I subscribed to her show, I didn't put the option to like save how many episodes. It was just till recordings.
Did you fill a DVR with Excused?
Yep.
Yeah, there's honestly 76 episodes.
I have it on mine too. And a lot of people tell me that. And it fills up quickly because
Yeah.
sometimes they do them back to back. Some
Yeah.
places they air a couple a night,
Right.
like just throughout the night. So yeah, it'll fill up quite quickly.
So then, aside from the naked cheerleading choreography and this hour-long stand-up special you have, is there an ancillary, larger passion that you're going to pursue in the next few years?
Yeah, I actually there's a bunch of
Well,
things.
can I find it on your Pinterest?
There's not gonna be on Pinterest.
Okay.
That's all cake and fun ideas for parties that I'm never gonna have. That's what Pinterest is for. It's porn for white girls. That's what
Right.
Pinterest is. I just wrote a screenplay that I'm working with a producer who shall go unnamed, but it's gonna be cool, and hopefully that gets picked up. And
But a big enough producer that
that it's not worth mentioning. Big enough that I shouldn't mention it.
Okay.
Put it that way.
Pauly Shore.
It's Pauly Shore. Really had fun doing our Showtime special together 1,000 years ago. And I have a pilot with Oxygen that I'm going to be doing. This will be my third pilot for a late night talk show in 2 years. So hopefully this one's a go.
Jesus.
Oh, that's awesome.
What is the same format as the other pilots?
I
or-
wanted to model it after the Weekly News, my web show, and just kind
Yeah.
of give. I don't think that there's a lot for. There's one woman in late night, and I was like, there's definitely room for another. We got 2 guys named Jimmy with brown hair. I love Jimmy Fallon, by the way. I'm just
Sure.
saying, there's room. And I wanted to just. Pop culture doesn't drive me. Comedy does, and so I really wanted to get in there and just kind of do like a nicer webcast for a show. And so I can't really give all the details of it, but I think it'd be fun.
Enough. What happened to the other 2 pilots? Just the networks didn't
go.
bite?
It was all, they were both for VH1, and at the 11th hour, I even had one, this is how fucked up it is, just so you know, if you're going to making a pilot. Nothing is ever certain. I had an executive come up to me after the first one, and I wasn't proud of the pilot. I didn't think it went the way we wanted it to, because what happens is when you do a pilot, you have your idea. The network says, we love your idea. You go in, and as you're doing it, they give you these ridiculous notes all the way through, and by the end, you're like, what did I just make?
Right.
What is this round peg in a square hole that we're trying
Right.
to fit in? And this executive came up to me, who was a nightmare the entire time, and she looked at me in the eye and she goes, you have my word that this will get picked up. And it didn't.
Wow.
And she didn't have, that's so unprofessional. Like I know, so just so you know, nothing.
Yeah, if you know anything about the industry, you never. It doesn't exist until the cash or the check has been cashed and it's on your DVR. Like it does not exist until it hits that point because it can get pulled at any second.
And so I did a second one, same network, the whole, and this is not a sob story. This is just, they can love you all. The expression is "love me less, hire me more."
Right.
And so this is the third one with a different network, and I think, I hope it goes. If not, it's weird that I talked about it. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, you just give it a double tap on top. Just give it a little thing. Or
smash it from the bottom.
Flip it.
It's flip?
Yeah.
There we go.
Like
Technology,
like a monkey.
everybody.
Double tap.
Make fire.
These are cool. Oh, what was it? Oh, flip it.
Yeah, it's a weird industry in the sense that you can hear all that and go that far out of your way to create something, and you never really quite know. And even if it is your idea and your passion, and everybody says they love it, and you have control, at any second a new cook could enter the kitchen, put their ladle in, mix it up, spin it around, and now you're serving a completely different dish than you thought you were creating.
That's awful tasting. And by new cook, you mean executives who have zero business being around anything creative.
Sure.
And they just come in and they have to give notes because that's their job. And so they're just like, I think we like the blue shirt better. You're like, this is your note?
Right.
Get away from me.
I had on a project that I recently did, which shall go unnamed, I had an executive whose only notes involved my wardrobe. And I did over 40 fittings for a simple television show because it was like, well, I want to see the leather jacket with the plaid tie. Now I want to see the solid tie with the... I'm like, if anybody gives this much of a fuck about what I'm wearing, clearly the show that is built around that is shit.
Needs to be on logo.
Nobody should be caring about that.
Ridiculous.
And I even had one where they were cutting up until 10 days of the show actually going on air, 4 different versions of the show. 4 different versions.
Right.
One of them made it to air.
They don't know.
But
at least one did.
And that's the thing. And I should feel happy and proud of that. But at the end of the day, I'm not. At the end of the day, it's so tragic that it's like, wow, so much effort goes into giving notes on 4 different versions of a show, an hour, a half hour, a present tense, a past tense.
It's so, because they don't know what they want, and everyone's so terrified of losing their job. They're like, let's cover all of our bases. And that's what goes on behind the scenes from them. I mean, I've literally had a president of a network for 9 months almost every week send me emails saying, we want you to be the face of our network. And when push came to shove, they were like, we can't do it. And you're like, I didn't find you. You found me.
Right.
So these things happen. And you got to you move on from it. And then you start to get jaded and then you realize nothing will ever be real. And and you get
and then you start cutting. Remember,
that's
down the tracks, not across, kids. With regard to the fact that you did this format that you're trying to get on TV as a web series, have you not been approached by or approached an online entity like a Hulu or whatever else to say, hey, I did this thing, now let's do it, but bigger and for real?
No, and to be honest, I don't think it would have to be a special offer. And in a way, it kind of pains me because I did the weekly news. This is before anyone did a podcast. This is before most people, this is at the beginning of web shows.
Sure.
And we kept it going for 5 years. And it really means nothing. Because this industry is about like, what did you do today?
Right.
Versus like, look at all the street cred you have.
Right.
It randomly plays, and so it's frustrating because it's like, look, we did this and we built an audience, and it doesn't really matter. And we haven't done it for a couple months, but I have it under my belt, and at least I have the episodes to show people and be like, I can handle a half hour by myself. It's fine. So we'll see. We'll see what this year brings, but it should be good. I did a movie.
Whoa, what?
I did a movie with Russell Brand called Lamb of God.
Did he try to put the moves on you?
No,
I mean,
he
that's
was
the
very...
first thing you got to ask.
He was very professional. He was, out of everyone on set, he was the nicest. And not creepy or anything. He was super charming, very nice.
Do you think that's because he has the rep that he's built? Or is that our perception of his rep, and in reality, he is a nice guy and that's his rep?
I think he's just a very nice guy.
Good to hear.
I mean, regardless...
Glad to hear it.
Yeah, he was very nice to me. And,
Did you watch Brand X?
No.
Did you ever see his
It's
comedy?
okay.
I've seen it. Huh?
Did you ever see his comedy?
Yeah, I've seen his comedy.
What is it?
I did think it was odd that he was the only white guy at that Eddie Murphy thing. It's all black comics and Russell Brand looking bewildered sitting on that couch. But anyways, it's called Lamb of God, and it's Diablo Cody's directorial debut. She wrote and directed it, and it's got Julianne Hough and Octavia Spencer. And of all the people on set, we had scenes where it was just us. I only had 2 scenes, but it was just us. He was the only one that every morning would be like, good morning, how are you? Some of the other actors, and I get that. You can't just walk up to a girl you've never met and like as someone with an Oscar and become their best friend.
Sure.
He was very warm right off the bat.
Well, that's nice to hear.
So I thought that was cool.
Do you have any set terrors, like any stories from the battlefield of a particularly douchey person, or present company excluded? But I mean, just someone who either
just in general?
Yeah, someone who laid it on too thick. Like I can't give too many specifics about it, but there was the first thrown water bottle that I've ever witnessed in 11 years. Somebody rejecting a bottle of water because it was handed to them and it wasn't the proper temperature. Not my.
You have to say that.
have to say that.
No, I'm not going to.
They're not listening.
What's the initials?
I'm not going down that road just
Movie
yet.
star?
It's still too new. No, not star enough to be throwing a fucking water bottle.
Oh, wow.
But it was one of those.
What show was it on?
It was one that is on TV. So with that said,
What
have you
network?
had anything like that? Oxygen.
Oh Jesus!
wasn't
Yeah, no one.
Oxygen,
Oh,
it
the Bad Girl Club. Have I ever seen anybody? I mean, I've definitely had my moments, but
You've had your moments?
They weren't unwarranted.
What happened?
No, nothing. One PA claimed that I threw soup at him, but I did not. I did not throw soup at him, Spencer. I did not throw soup at you. I would never do that.
Fucking Spencer.
Whatever. I don't think so because I haven't been on set with people. Everything I do is stand up.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So I've never really. I don't think so, and I'd have to really rack my brain. So the fact
Have
that
you
it's not
really
coming-
honed your heckling skills because of the stand up? Like, or do guys challenge you differently because you're female on the stage?
Do you want to be like if someone heckles me, like what happens?
Well, yeah, either what happens there, or do you think that it happens more often or in different ways? Does it manifest itself differently because you're female on stage and it's normally drunk dudes in the crowd that are
I
heckling?
don't get a ton of hecklers.
Yeah.
I actually don't get any.
That's great.
Because at certain levels, people are coming to see you versus
Sure.
like, why am I here? And you get drunk people. Like we had this weekend, I'm positive it was a group of girls that had taken a lot of ecstasy. And so they were just
Fantastic.
loud. And there comes a point where you ignore it. And then there comes a point where the managers, it's like, you guys need to kick this person out. And they weren't. And I kind of stopped the show. And I was like, I have this bit where I talk about how you can always get drunk and pick a fight with your boyfriend because you know he's not going to hit you back. And so I'm like, girls, when you get drunk, who are you most likely to pick a fight with? And I pause. And this girl goes, you. And I just stopped. And the truth is, I can't see more than 20 feet in front of me, especially in like a dark crowd.
Right, your club lighting
So I
settings,
kind of
yeah.
just like stared out into the crowd in her direction, and I made some idle threats, knowing I full well couldn't back them up. And if we got in a fight, I have much more to lose than this hooker does.
Right.
I can't lose a tooth. I have
Well,
to
she
be on
might lose her
camera.
role. That'd be a bummer.
Yeah, that's fair. And I just kind of looked out, and I was like, you don't want to do that. And it's one of those things that you say, hoping that they'll be like, okay.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I don't.
And they got quiet, but it's just like, for the most part, people don't. Or if someone yells something back, you try to incorporate it in the show. I in general don't get like, show us your tits. Like that doesn't happen.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Brian, don't say it. Brian, don't.
You could say it.
Did you know that they were on an ecstasy roll because you used to be quite the raver girl? You used to just slam Molly left and right, just rails?
When I was going to raves, no one did Molly. It was all just ecstasy. It was called good old bathtub ecstasy.
Mitsubishi.
But
I got an Obama and a Shamrock, bro. I'm gonna take it.
Obama.
The internet says it's. I won't trust Amazon reviews or Netflix reviews for like body soap or movies, but I'll trust drug forums as to whether or not a pill is safe.
Oh yeah.
They got nothing to lose. Why they're not? Yeah, it doesn't.
You know what I
I believe this. I trust a drug dealer implicitly. You get a drug dealer, and you're like, "Is this pure or whatever?" I haven't done drugs in such a long time, and he says to you, "Trust me." You do. For some reason, even though they're bottom of the barrel scum,
Because you want to trust them.
I've
Their
never had a
Miata
drug.
was clean and their duffel bag looked nice. Whatever
I've
they're
never
selling
had
out
a
of
drug
it, I'll
dealer
buy
steal
it.
you wrong. You're not buying black tar heroin. Like you're buying pot. He's gonna be like, "This is some good stuff."
Right.
Like they want you to feel good.
Well, they need repeat customers. They can't really kill you.
Right.
I mean, they could if they're a shitty. Is there a Yelp for
This is
drug
Pulp
dealers?
Fiction.
I think there needs to be.
There needs to be.
I just love the
Yeah.
notion of like I literally won't trust a car website as to whether or not a GPS is better than another one, but I'll trust Blue Blaze 69 as to whether or not his trip report with mushrooms was great and look up that kind of pill or whatever.
I trust the internet for everything. I'll look up a question. I'll just find, like Yahoo Answers. Like it's such a weird. And I'll get one person that's like, "Yeah, that's real." You're like, "Look, I agree." Like somehow.
Can
a
you get
stranger's
drunk
not
while
lying.
taking antibiotics? Yahoo says
I
yes.
look at I
I'm
had
all
a
for
Z-Pack
it.
the other day. I had a cold, and I was like, "Can I drink?" And all these people were like, "Yeah." They say you can't, but you can't. I trust my Twitter followers. People be like, "I'm a doctor," and I'll look up on their profile. It says they're a doctor, so they must be a doctor.
Right.
And they're like, "Yeah, you can do it." I like people that will level with you. Be like, "You shouldn't, but you can."
You shouldn't. Yeah, exactly.
I was
Like,
trying
it's
to
not
get-
the best thing for you,
Yeah.
but you ain't gonna fucking die.
I was trying to get it out of my pharmacist when she gave me the Z-Pack. I go, "Can I drink on this?" She was like, "I wouldn't." I'm like, "But you could."
you
She's
could,
like, "I can't
right?
tell you that." And I'm like, "So yes, great. You just wink and a nod. I'm going." Right, Z-Pack.
Oh, now what's the fascination? I mean, adorable little
That's
baby
the
there.
fascination.
But that's the fascination. That's it.
She's
a lot of
stunning.
people love their dogs, but you have yours attached at the hip. No,
I just,
like you carry her around in a fanny pack and.
if I could, she's a little heavy. I mean, she's just so pretty. And she's just so sweet. It's so hard not to squeeze.
Now, does she give you issues when you're going on flights and have to go through the wonderful world of the TSA?
Well, okay, we'll get into that. So I'll tell you, see how mellow she is right now?
Yeah.
This is how she is on a plane.
Oh, fantastic.
She's actually sleeping right now. She's the most mellowed up. That's what makes her so great to travel with.
To be fair, that dog is on pure ecstasy. That's the only
Always.
reason you still trust your dealer.
This is her evening
It's because of
look.
that right there.
You have the littlest brain.
That looks. That
Look at
is
that. And she's
such an
missing a
alien
tooth.
face.
Oh, you can't see it.
Oh.
It's somewhere over there. Ooh, meat face. I brought her. I was going to Sacramento, and the rule is, I don't know why. So you got to carry your dog through the metal detector. You can't put them on the belt because that's horrifying.
Well, yeah, you don't want
to
to X-ray your animal. Don't need that.
But for some reason, when you carry an animal through, they then have to. What was the material you said?
Nitrates is something
For
that
nitrate,
they
but it's for
test a
metal.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have to swab your hands afterwards. So
Nitrates, by the way, for those who don't know, like nitrates are found in
Bacon.
everything from bacon to hot dogs to grass, like grass fertilizer. So there's a good chance your dog was at a dog park or somewhere on a walk and got some nitrates on its belly, which is why if they tell you to hold the dog, which has nitrates, you're going to get the extra swab down.
I always thought it was for like explosive metals as well.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's that. I mean, that's why you're testing for nitrates, though, is because the dog has been walking on there. But I guess maybe your dog is keystering a stick of dynamite. That could be as well.
I mean, it could be. I
maybe
could have
that's why
put a
he's so
bomb in
calm.
her.
Yeah,
right.
of course.
So I always walk through holding. This is how I walk through the metal thing because I know what. Because I do this every week. So I walk through like this. Because this is what they need to do. And they always act like I have no idea what I'm doing. They're like, you need to step over here, stand right here, we're going to wait. And they always yell, female assist. Why it's fucking female, it's my hands, not my vagina. And
Sure.
even if it were, who gives a fuck? Do your job. Doesn't matter to me.
I
The
disagree with
guy-
that, but all right.
Fine.
I disagree with that.
I was just trying to make a point. The guy never yells for female assist. Instead, he just puts his back. I don't think English was his first language, and this is not against anyone who doesn't speak English, but you should speak English if you're going to be working in this country. And he put his back to me and just started ushering other people through. So I'm standing in this
You've
Hannibal
gone through the
Lecter
metal
penalty
detector?
box.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're in the plexiglass cage, the timeout.
Yeah, and all these people are walking by and they're laughing at me. They're like,
Right.
oh, you got to time out. I'm like, I didn't. It's not for what?
It's like high school getting called to the principal's office
Yeah,
or whatever. It's
but
like,
it's a
"What'd
see-through
were you
principal."
high sticking? What were you in the penalty box for there, princess?
Yeah, and they were like looking at me. So I'm standing there, and I don't mind standing there for a second, but it's such a routine thing. And the fact that he hadn't called for an assist, so it's like, are you just waiting for someone to notice me?
Right.
So I'm standing there for like 5 minutes, and I look at him, and sarcastically, I go, what are we doing here? Or am I just going to stand here, or are you going to call for someone? And he goes, no, you just stand there. And I don't think he got sarcasm, because, again, with the English thing.
Sure.
So now I'm getting irritated because I want to go to the gate. I want to go do my thing. I don't want to be standing there for no reason. Finally, so I'm standing there for a while. I'm getting irritated. Finally, someone comes over. Not a female, because the female thing is irrelevant when it's just my hands. Well, a guy, he brings me over, and I'm rolling my eyes, and I'm just throwing so much shade at this guy. I'm looking back, and I'm like boring holes into the back of his head with my eyes because he's making this take too long. And this guard was like, he's like, do you have a problem? Like, he's like, are you upset about something? And I was like, yeah, your security guard is inept. Like, I just said that, and he was like, ugh. And he, of course, washed my hands, and everything was fine. But just the fact that I had to be inconvenienced for no reason sent me on my rant.
Well, it's for our safety. It's for our freedoms.
It's for no one's safety. It's to prove a point. And by the way, we're sitting ducks. If you want to have some defense, be defensive. Don't be on the offense.
Right.
And so I went on this whole Twitter rant. And at the end, I thought it was a funny button. I just wrote, well, they're taking me into custody now. So if someone could please tell my manager. And I specifically said manager, not agent, because agent sounds douchey. And I didn't want to come off like that. So I get on the plane. It's a 1 hour flight. I get off the plane. My manager calls me. She goes, Eliza, people keep calling my office asking if you're okay.
Have you been taken?
The PR woman for Excused, I guess, follows me on Twitter. She called. She's like, is Eliza okay? And I was like, in a billion years, I
By the
never
way,
thought
she
anyone
just
would
wanted
know
to send
it.
out a press release that had nothing to
Oh,
do with
yeah.
your safety. She just wanted to be like, Excused star detained
Watch
for
Excused.
being a terrorist.
Yeah, catch her 4 a.m.
Yeah. I hope she's out in time to live tweet an Excused marathon coming up at 4 a.m.
Am I contractually obligated? No, then I'm not doing it. But that happened. So TSA can eat my shit.
Did you hate the TSA before this incident?
Oh, yeah. Inept. Pick up a book. Get a real job. Because they're going through it. This is not, nothing's invested in this.
I don't begrudge the people that
I do.
I don't necessarily begrudge the people that work there. I'm disappointed that my tax dollars go to fund a job like that. The fact that I'm paying for this institutionalized brainwashing, this cattle herding sheep project that is security theater. I wish those people could get jobs repairing roads or helping with after-school programs.
Well, they do for their community service, and then they just, yeah.
right.
I'm sorry.
Once they grope the wrong person.
I watch them doing it, and it's super routine, and there's no. I'm not, passion is the wrong word, but there's
no, but it is kind of the right word.
invested.
They're not present when they're doing it. They're going
Stand
through the
over
minimum
here,
checklist.
Touches over here. Okay, you gotta come over here. And then and a lot of comics have bits about this, but it doesn't make me feel safe that you're giggling with your friends and talking to each other, and then just like swiping my hand, not even making eye contact with me.
Right.
Because what are we doing here? What are we really fighting against? You're just doing your job with no incentive to do it better. By the way, we haven't caught one terrorist since 9/11 with the security screens.
Sure. I love the fanciful loopholes that you can leap through. Like, okay, there's 3 ounces of hair gel. No. I mean, that's fine. If you have 4 ounces, not allowed. But you can have 5 3-ounce canisters of whatever in a Ziploc bag. Mm-hmm. Like, really?
And you can keep your iPad in now. No way could there be anything explosive in an iPad. That's fine. I think what's funny is someone's sitting in a fucking tunnel in Afghanistan giggling like, oh my God, they think that we're still looking at the airports. Right. Enjoy your Super Bowl. Yeah.
Well, and I've said this a million times, and I hate to retread it, but the moment someone decides to put something in a sneaker or up their asshole and does it at a stadium or a mall or a bus stop, hello TSA everywhere. Yeah. Hello body scanners and mind readers
all the other places
everywhere.
We congregate.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And no one cares about the airport anymore.
I've heard so many people use the argument when it comes to government with warrantless wiretapping of emails, essentially, which there's no real wire that they're tapping. I mean, but when it comes to them scanning emails
tapping.
or going, yeah, exactly, like, tapping your Wi-Fi's, bro. Like when they talk about that, they always use and it's the same thing that my mother says. Well, if you don't do anything wrong, you have nothing to hide. If you're not doing anything wrong, you have nothing to hide. And I'm like, really? Because give it 5 years, they will have the ability to just passively read thoughts and infer intentions off of it. And now suddenly that's going to be okay, right? Because as long as you're not thinking anything nasty or scandalous, now it's okay.
We have McCarthyism all over again,
right.
For sure. You don't want to. And every movie that comes out about the future is, it's a witch hunt for something, and we definitely run the risk of that. I agree with her on some levels, but. I mean, if the government wants to check out my emails about Pinterest, go for it.
Yeah, see, I get that, and at some point you go, well, fine, look, but no. You know what? Not fine.
Right.
You're not allowed to look. You don't have a right to. There was a system in place at a time that made sense for the technology where you had to go through hoops and get permission to look at that stuff. If that still exists now, there's no checks and balances.
Right. You can't just be that. I mean, then that's what makes America great. Is the government can't just come into your house, commandeer your things without a reason. If you want a reason, that's why you get a warrant. That's why these steps are in place. There has to be a cause for that.
And by the way, another fun fact they just announced, the researchers just came out with this. It's a carbon nanotube that is small enough to be implanted into the brain to read and potentially write electrical impulses, to synapses. So now they've already got helmets that can sort of record experiences. The problem has been playing them back. So imagine a near future where someone goes on a skydive or a shooting spree or whatever. Wow. They wear this helmet. They record their impulses. You can then theoretically put on something else and play it back. It's like we can record the tape. We just can't get it back in there. Well, this is the first step towards writing directly into the brain that's unobtrusive. Like it's small enough to fire on like a singular synapse.
Wow.
So they could, in 7, 10, 15 years' time, have enough of them bundled together to fully map the brain and play it back.
That's cool.
And that's cool. And you go, all right, fine. We're going to get our Demolition Man helmet fucking, which I've been waiting for so long. Did you ever see that?
No.
Sandra
Strange
Bullock
Days.
fucks Sylvester Stallone wearing a helmet and projecting sexual images
done that.
to him.
That's fine.
Who hasn't wanted to mind fuck Sylvester Stallone?
Remember Strange Days?
No, what's that?
Same shit, but with Julia Lewis.
But helmet fucking?
Oh yeah, recording brains, recording your shit,
Okay, yeah.
and playing it back.
But
Just
I mean,
the waves coming out of it.
yeah, well, I mean, every thought, every experience, everything is just electrical impulses flying around in the brain. So if you can record that, theoretically, you could just play it back in someone else's brain. Now, brains, of course, are very different and nuanced, and there's a lot of subtlety there that we don't understand. But this is the first step. And if you don't think that they're going to figure out how to do that wirelessly, and that's going to be at every fucking mall of America.
Well, let's hope that we get it before the Russians.
Yeah.
That's it, right?
And the Chinese.
Amen to that.
And hopefully we can rent Eliza's like 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. thoughts in the future from Netflix.
That's it.
It would be a lot of crying, and why am I so lonely?
Eliza, where can the kids on the interwebs find you, follow you, cyberstalk you, go by your house on Street View? How can they get in touch with you in this digital crazy age?
You can tweet me at Eliza, ILIZA. It's on your Twitter feed as of the last couple hours. There's a Facebook page. You can add yourself to my fan page, but I think the Twitter's the most important one.
And if they want to see your show, Dallas, December 1st?
Dallas, December 1st, you can get tickets on my Facebook page. And if you want to check out Excused, you have to go to excusedtv.com, check out our Herbal Viagra site, and look it up where it's playing with you. You can also go to YouTube/Excused to check out outtakes and funny clips.
I also, very quickly, I want to shout out Brian C. If you like the banner on the Death Squad TV site, if you like the crazy artwork that was done, I am a fucking asshole, and I forgot to thank Brian ages ago for sending this in. He is thank you is well overdue. Well overdue. You can find him on Twitter. He's Brian C. And you can find his Tumblr. I just had it up at monkeyswithtools. Oh, it's a WordPress. monkeyswithtools.wordpress.com. Awesome graphic designer. Toss him a job if you have one. He did a great banner for us.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So thank you for that. And he did it in seconds, too.
I know. That was crazy.
Very talented dude. So thank you for that, Brian. Again, my apologies on the late plug for that. Brian, what did you like to promote, sir?
Definitely not the Nintendo Wii U.
Do we want to get into that? Should we excuse Eliza so she doesn't have to sit here for a gaming discussion? Because there's no way you want to sit here for a Wii U chat,
It looked
right?
boring. I saw it on Jimmy Fallon. It's like you hold it. That's too
Yeah,
cumbersome.
it's like having an iPad as a controller, but then
But it's not
still
an
the
iPad,
Nintendo
to be
Wii.
clear. It's like a cheesy, cheap Taiwanese
Well,
ripoff of
it
an
looks
iPad.
like a Play School thing.
That's what it looks like. A Fisher Price, my
I
first
don't
smart
like it.
pad.
I'm not buying
One
it.
good thing is like I know that the LCD is not like an iPad LCD. It's one of the ones you have to push
Correct.
down. What's that called?
It's capacitive versus resistive.
Yeah, but it's a good capacitive. And then drawing on
Good
it,
capacitive.
drawing on it was great because it was pressure sensitive. I felt so. I actually have no problems with the screen. It's actually the coolest thing is you don't like for Mario Brothers. You don't even have to have your TV on. You could just play it on the screen. But then I found myself going, all right, I'm just playing a Game Boy.
You're
right
playing
now.
a Game Boy. Yeah,
Right.
it's a glorified Game Boy.
Yeah, it's all it is. And the graphics.
A Game Boy, by the way, that's only going to last for about 3 hours from what
Yeah.
I'm hearing. Like, if you have the brightness up,
Right.
you're basically going to last 3 hours. And don't think, like, if you have a large enough house, you're not going to be in your bedroom
Right.
playing your Nintendo Wii U, which is 4 rooms away.
Right.
It's not going to broadcast that far.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a Nintendo Wii. I didn't see any difference in the graphics. Of course, I'm only playing Mario Brothers. I'm not playing.
What
Call of
about,
Duty
did you
and
get
stuff
on
like
to,
that.
did you download the 4 gig day and date online patch, which there was?
Yeah, that was annoying. It
Jesus.
kept on failing, and then it took an hour. The TV part is not open yet till December.
I really want to have an in-depth discussion about this. So, Eliza,
I'm leaving.
you're free to go.
Yeah, I'm sorry I stayed.
Eliza Hughes, everybody. Thanks for coming by, Eliza.
Also, Eliza will be at the American Comedy Co. next
Oh,
month, December
14th?
13th,
14th? In San Diego, yeah.
13th,
Forgot about
14th.
that.
It's at American Comedy Co. I'll be there the night before, so go both nights.
That's right.
Plugs,
And
plugs,
did I write
plugs.
back to you when you asked me? Was that you that asked me? No, somebody asked me to do a show the night. The answer is no.
No, I said
Okay.
I said you could come the night before and you could stay in my room if you wanted.
You
Yeah,
guys can
somebody
you guys could DM this
Somebody
shit.
offered me a less
You guys
creepy
can have this
offer. I'm not
conversation
going.
on Skype or JDate, whatever the fuck you guys do. But thank you so much.
Thank you for the carrots.
Eliza,
Thank you for
enjoy the
having
baby
me.
carrots and the peanut butter power bar, and take care.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eliza.
Thanks for having me. This was fun.
For those who tuned out now because you thought we were with plugs and done, you're missing the bonus round. Oh wait, that's another. Isn't that a show? Someone does a show called Bonus Round.
Something like that.
You're missing gamer dudes, bros being bras, broing it up. Play some music. Let's segment this thing and call it something else. Thank you. Heart you. We're gonna continue chatting. So this was my Wi-Fi hug to you.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Take care.
Take this water.
I hope your dad doesn't mind the deep throating of the carrots.
He's never going to see this.
Good. Love it.
My dad doesn't even have a computer.
All right, Wii U chat. Here's what baffles me, Brian.
Yeah.
Yesterday, a new Nintendo console came out, and I didn't give zero fucks given.
Yeah.
And that should just be against me. And I chalked it up to, well, I'm going to be 30 this year. Clearly, I'm just getting old, and I'm not interested in video gaming. But that is not true.
Right.
I care very deeply about video gaming. In fact, some of the video gaming that I happen to enjoy the most now are the pick up and play, simple, innovative gameplay types. And that should be exactly what the Wii U is trying to provide me. But every piece of advertising that I've seen, every quick review, I love what Giant Bomb has done with their quick looks and just, hey, we're going to play it and check out the system.
Right.
It looks like it's going to be something that I'm going to go spend money on because I feel like I have to own it. And then it's going to sit there and collect, just a pound of dust.
Absolutely. And I didn't even know it was released yesterday. I was actually sitting at home. It was 2 p.m, and I got an email from Nintendo saying, hey, the Nintendo Wii U's here. You know, like those emails that always come like a day late that you're like, oh, yeah, that would have been nice to know.
Right.
And so I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. I didn't know it came out. So I just went to Target.com, searched inventory in stock, and I was like, all right, that must be wrong. I'll just go anyway. So I go there, no line. I'm like, do you have the Nintendo U? And they're like, oh yeah, black or white. And I'm like, oh,
Wait,
black.
I have an option?
Yeah.
I should be like, you should be fighting a soccer mom, right?
Right,
Like you should
right.
be pulling it out of her cold, manicured
Yeah.
hands.
It was nothing. It was 0 line, 0 weight. They had them in stock. It was 2:30 in the afternoon.
All the press that was going out about that system too was, hey, good luck getting it, guys, because let me tell you what, like, fucking sold out, pre-orders through the roof. You're not going to get one. You're going to be blowing dudes on Craigslist and spending $3,000 on eBay. If you hope to get your hands on a Wii U, no problem getting one.
Right. And like you, I didn't think I was going to buy one. I've had every single system that Nintendo's ever done the day of release since Nintendo 8-bit. And
Wait, does that include the Virtual Boy?
No,
I
I
just
never
want to be
bought the
clear
Virtual
about
Boy.
that.
No,
Okay,
I'm
I just
in
want to be
real
clear
main
about that.
systems. And so the Nintendo Wii to me was really like the final straw. Like I bought so many games that I never opened. I just haven't played it. It just annoys me when I sleep because that stupid blinking blue light that I know I can turn off.
I know. I had that. I'm like, I'm trying to watch a movie. Wii U, stop begging me to play with you. I'm not interested in you. Please, Kevin, please touch me. I'm motion sensitive. Now I'm just very sensitive. Please touch me. No, Wii, stop it.
And the annoying thing is that it feels just like a Wii. Like you still have that same shitty wired sensor bar that you have to throw across the other side of the room. The menu and everything was annoying. The update was annoying. The Mii character builder. Like I think what are they called? Miis? I hate how the Miis look. It looks like really bad art. It doesn't look like a Japanese cutesy cool. It should be like
super kawaii.
It should be Animal Crossing character builder or something. Like it should be cute.
it should be far more diverse. I mean,
Right.
like look at what, Microsoft clearly saw that people enjoyed the Miis, which at first admittedly I did as well. Like I had fun building my Mii character and making silly ones and like, oh, I designed his face so it looks like an asshole. I'm going to call him, Mr. Anus, and going on Mii parades and hanging out with friends in this virtual Miiverse. Like that was interesting at first, and it looks like Microsoft saw that and said, hey, we're going to do that. And we're gonna beat Nintendo at their own game and offer all the accessories and the pets and all that shit. It sounds like with the Wii U, they didn't take their idea and expand it past what Microsoft has done. It sounds like the exact same thing.
It's exactly the same. It's still like even the Xbox I thought did a better job at the design of like the character builder. But look at like Tony Hawk. Look at any of these
Look at any game with a character creation system where you can accessorize and then have crazy facial features.
Right,
and whatever
like
else.
take a picture of my face, and like there was a part in the new creator because the controller does have a webcam on it, so it can take a picture of your face and get it close enough to what it thinks it's
right.
It doesn't work. It doesn't look good. But why not have
the best though is when you do point the webcam at your junk and it just stretches your testicles out to either side
It's just
of the face and you got the dick nose.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you've never done that with Madden.
I know.
Don't tell me.
Well, I tried it on Nintendo, but it just gave me a mushroom. So, but it should be like it should be better. The graphics don't seem improved at all. And again, I'm only playing Mario, but not at all. Like nothing seems any different. I do like the controller though. I think the controller feels good. I like being able to play the game on the controller instead of looking at the TV if I wanted to. But then you look at their release day games. Besides Mario Brothers, there was a zombie game that
Zombie U. Everybody was talking about that. And what was funny is that I don't know if they were going out of their way to find an experience worthy of justifying this unit, because people even did that with Red Steel when the first Wii came out, which, a lot of people, granted, they said it was shit, but there was a handful of owners being like, yeah, but you have to think about the potential while you're playing it. And I'm like, I didn't pay $60 to play potential. I bought it because it's supposed to be a good game.
And it's not. The reviews are horrible for that game.
Well,
the
and
new zombie
some
game.
people are saying, "Oh, it's really fun because the clunky controls and the awkward character movement, and the fact that it's like hard to move up ladders, it adds to the tension and the suspense of the game." And I'm like, you know what? No, it fucking doesn't. People made that excuse for Resident Evil for years. They were like, the broken controller scheme makes it tense and makes it exhilarating because you're trying to escape zombies and you're walking into walls. No. I want suspense because I fear for my character's life and therefore my life, not because I can't walk up a fucking ladder because you can't program movement.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that's the Zombie U argument. Did you get into Nintendo Land?
I haven't even opened it yet. Honestly, like that's how unexcited I am of this system. I've had
The system that you bought yesterday.
I played it for 20 minutes. and then I put it down, and then last night I picked it up again, played one level of a Mario game,
Oh, no.
put it back down again.
Yeah, you could have done that with a 3DS for
Yeah.
half the price, and that game experience would last for hours.
Yeah. Now the new Batman supposedly has all the add-ons that the Xbox have and the PS3, and all the extra bonuses, and it's supposed to be pretty cool with the controller. So I'm interested to see how good the new Batman game is.
Did you play the old? Like, did you play Arkham Asylum on another
No.
console? All right, so
I
then
missed out
So then
on that
you
one.
might be the target for that. I feel
Right.
like everybody else who wanted to play that game played that game. Unless they were 11 and their parents wouldn't get it for them on their Wii, and it wasn't out. So now that they have a Nintendo console in the household, like there's a great video of a kid. Let me see if I can find it so I can direct you to it. And he's like what seems to be an 11-year-old kid holding up a Call of Duty 3 or a Call of Duty Black Ops Wii U box, and he's talking about the game.
Wow.
Is that out yet?
New
Call of Duty for the Wii U?
No, I don't think it is.
Maybe it was
It might be a December launch.
It's like a commercial. This kid's doing like a commercial for it, but he's like 11 years old and he's shouting it out. It's really funny. I have to pull it up. I feel like there's going to be a whole lot of, hey, did you like this on the 360? Well, now you can play it with similar graphics, but apparently shittier frame rate.
Yeah.
On the Wii U, there's
That-
a lot of reports that like even Epic Mickey
Right.
is having crazy frame rate issues on this brand new console.
Well, Epic Mickey was the one that I was really angry about because that was one of the launch games that I really wanted them to do well, and they didn't. They actually didn't really improve from the first one, and it seems like there's a lot of it's pretty to look at, kind of, but not any better than it should be. It should be this should be Xbox, PS3. Now these are launch games, so the frame rate issues and stuff like that might be an issue because it's new. It's a new system.
Right.
The Xbox, they have that thing turned inside out. They know exactly how to program on it or import other games and stuff. Right. So I give them that.
Yeah, but still, best foot forward at launch.
Yeah.
And there's always the Kabuki Warriors for the original Xbox. There's always the shitty games that come out at the time of launch where you don't expect anything. But Epic Mickey, that's a giant title. That's a big franchise, and it was touted as one of the major launch lineup games. If you can't get your shit together for that, that does not bode well for the future, in my opinion. But do me a favor, YouTube, go to YouTube. MW3 Commercial is the title. It's by, and I'm not making this up, it's by Mr. Blaze 147. Yeah. It's an amazing, because I promise I will relate this to a Wii U discussion very quickly. Yeah, MW3 Commercial. It's like an 11-year-old talking about, it's Modern Warfare 3. I was wrong. It's not Call of Duty, but it's a Modern Warfare 3 kid. Mr. Blaze 147 is the kid.
Mr. Blaze, you see it?
You'll see it. I mean, you see the thumbnail. It's a kid.
Wow, what?
MW3 commercial. Try Mr. Blaze 147. Add that. Yeah, Mr. Blaze 147. The lack of pre-production in this podcast, by the way, entirely my fault, and I apologize to everybody who has to sit through this shit. There he is. Enjoy this minute of brilliance. Mr. Blaze 147 does a commercial, quote unquote, for Modern Warfare 3, and he's holding up the Wii version of the game.
Go,
Yeah,
PC.
come on, play.
Hey kids, are you ready for Modern Warfare 3?
The applause is his added, not ours.
You're not old enough to play it, so get the fuck off. This game is rated M, bitches. The band.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and you faggots that are noobs, kid cusses. So, yeah, and
Okay, we could.
Wow, that's-
yeah. So here's the thing, Wii U. I mean, you think that I've been playing a little bit of Black Ops 2, and I immediately have to mute everybody. Just immediately mash it. I'm like, you goodbye, 13-year-olds. I get you're gonna kill me in the game,
Right.
But you're not going to say anything that is of any use to society, let alone me in this Call of Duty match. And here is like a 9-year-old kid dropping faggot bombs and saying, let me look around and make sure mom's not listening. Fuck off this game. I really worry about the Wii U's online community because it's going to be 9-year-olds now that have access to Call of Duty
But
and have access to
it
those
might
games.
be the funniest thing ever if you smoke weed too.
It could be hilarious.
It could be like
hilarious.
a comedy show. of
That's true.
kids.
It would be like Wonder Chosen where the kids are actually dropping
Right.
F-bombs. I have enough anxiety about the future of our society, and I have enough apprehension about America in general. I just don't know. It was 0 to 60 with the amount of dicks that I saw popping up on people's, like, we're walking around Nintendo Land and look at all these penises that are popping up right away. And
Right.
I feel like that's going to get old before it's funny.
Now, I know most of the money went into the controller. This is supposedly the first system that Nintendo's taking a loss on.
Right. That's a huge departure for their company. Many people
Right.
forget that the Wii was a console that they were making money on from day one, unlike Microsoft and Sony.
Right. But they didn't go that far. Supposedly it's ranked up to about the same as Xbox and PS3. But,
Power-wise, yes.
Right, power-wise. PS4, they're already being worked on. They already have the systems in the software departments now. Like the fourth...
Developer units, you're saying.
Yeah, the fourth developer unit is going to be... The last developer unit, which should be out by summer. That's how close it is to a launch, probably.
Right.
Do you think that there was a reason why they didn't overpower the system, that they just kind of played catch up for this?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think that if you look at the Wii, they didn't have to overpower. Like, banking on graphics and pure polygon power was not ever their intention. It wasn't their strong suit.
Yeah, but for third party, they know that third party shit's hurting them, not having the best Call of Duty.
Certainly. But I think that the third party play for them here is, I don't think... First of all, I think that because of the community, because it's a smaller thing, or because it's a younger thing... Let me take a step back. I think the third-party play for Nintendo here is not, we need to have games that look as good as PS4 or Xbox 720 or Nextbox, if you will. They're not going to win on that front because they never have. And they don't really need to. They do to appeal to a very, very hardcore gamer. But let's be honest, the very, very hardcore gamer already has a Wii U because they're banking on the new Yoshi or a new Zelda or a new Smash Brothers, right? They're going to get those guys anyways.
Right.
The really dedicated, they care about the raw polygon power. They're going to go for Sony. They're going to go for Microsoft. What Nintendo needs to do is woo third-party developers to make games that take advantage of that controller. Because they're not going to win the hardware game. They never were. They're not going to be able to make money on a console. Like, yes, now they're losing money, but in the near future, they'll probably break even with revisions and then hopefully make some money on the console. They're not going to do that if they try to play the hardware game against Sony and Microsoft. So they need to get developers making games that take advantage of this controller. And I don't know that... I mean, there's going to be a handful of them that take to it, but...
A problem I had today is I was trying to get in for the Amazon Prime shipping today to try to find the a second controller. Gamepad controller, and they're not for sale anywhere. They're not on GameSpot.
Really?
They're not at Target. They're not at Amazon. And so then they have a Xbox-looking type controller that's almost sold out everywhere, where it looks like a cross between the PS3 and the Xbox controller. But that controller cannot be used on Mario. So So it's like that shit needs to stop. You need to, if this system is based on this controller, you need to sell those controllers, or you need to sell this whatever thing, and then it can be used for every single game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think right now it's just a matter of, well, there's not a whole lot of games or experiences that take advantage of two gamepads.
Yeah.
So why bother at this point? But yes, the why you should bother is it's the system selling point.
I would have bought one today.
It's the whole purpose is to have this unit that works with it. And it also makes you realize just how a simple attachment to an Android device or an iDevice that plays with the console. There's a lot of... I've seen Kickstarter campaigns for several indie consoles. The names are now escaping me. I think Uvu was one, or maybe it's Vuo or
Via.
There's two different indie gaming consoles based off of Android coming out.
Really?
One is a full-fledged console that runs like an Arduino and blah, 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 and connects to your TV, and it runs a special layer on top of it to help you access media and video games easily.
Awesome.
So that's one route. The other route is there's a company that's just making a controller attachment for Android devices. It's like Bluetooth, and so this becomes your console. And you throw down your Android and you DLNA, wirelessly stream it to your TV, or you plug it in HDMI style. They're even making cradles that'll charge and spit out the video, and your phone becomes the real processor for the unit.
Right.
And that I see absolutely being the way to go in the near future as an indie gameplay, because you have a touchscreen here that has plenty of Bluetooth and gyroscopes and everything else, and a camera on it, everything that makes that Wii U interesting. You bolt a controller onto it, suddenly you have a console here. Right. It's already got the internet built in. You can already stream games, and in a year's time, the platform will be way more powerful than anything the Wii U is capable of.
And shouldn't we be in the time that Nintendo, like day one, I should be able to turn on this machine and download every single fucking Nintendo game ever. If that little 13-year-old cussing 13-year-old that we just saw in that video has it all burnt on a couple Blu-rays already.
Right.
Nintendo should have it.
Yeah, that's the real kick in the nuts. There's several with this system, but I mean, if you can throw their entire library on a thumb drive and have it downloaded in a couple hours from some Scandinavian server, why can't they make it available at a cheap price? Now, what they are doing is slowly doling that experience out and saying, give us $4 a pop or $5 a pop, and then they can do a marketing announcement and say, hey, that game that you love is now available, so it gets people interested. And that I get, but I think there's a lot of money to be made for that, going like the sort of on-live route, where it's, here's every game available, you pay $4.99 a month and you have access to all of them.
Or having OnLive be able to be on the Nintendo Wii U would be huge. Because it does have an internet browser, it does have apps like Netflix and stuff. What would be...
Well, they're closing their doors now, so let's not put too many eggs in the online
Whatever
basket.
happened to Phantom, by the way?
They released a keyboard and then embezzled everything else.
Right.
There was the Phantom Lapboard, which was a full-scale, like, QWERTY keyboard that could open up and reveal a mouse pad beneath it, so you could do competitive PC gaming, but from your couch.
I remember that system.
It was never coming out. That system was never coming out. That was vaporware.
Yeah.
Vaporware from the start.
Yeah, and your guys' show really focused on that thing a lot. And
on
so
the Phantom?
I saw a couple things on...
Really?
Well, you guys talked about it in the news about how it's, vaporware.
But, but we didn't say, like, I can't wait for this fucking console.
It got a lot...
No one ever saw it.
I know, it got so much attention, though, from, like, video game websites and stuff like that. I'm just surprised that it even got that far, because it seemed like every year it was like, it's...
Well, there were lofty... Well, I mean, there was definitely, like, it had a half-life of PR interest. Like, at first it was like, holy shit, great, a powerful web-connected PC contender to the console market, but it's going to be a console. All right, cool. And then they got millions and millions of dollars in backing, which makes you think, okay, this could be something. But then as it started to come out, it was more interesting as a scandal story.
Wow.
It was far more interesting as
Where
this
is
thing is
that guy
never
now?
going to see the light of day. I don't know. He's probably with Kimball working on the new Mega Upload or something. Like, it was never coming out. But I just can't... I'm shocked that... I'm really, really shocked that the Wii U is not on my radar in an amazing way.
I think it will be. I think it's going to be.
You think it will be? I think it'll be the next Wii.
I didn't think I was going to buy it. I'm thinking that it's going to be one of those 3-day things where you're going to be Sunday or maybe Friday next weekend. You're going to be at Best Buy. You're going to walk by it.
I'm not, and I'll tell you why. And I thought this. I even thought this yesterday. Like, I got home and I think I saw your tweet about having it, and I'm like, I'm very fortunate in this world. I can go out and get one. It's not going to be that big a deal. I can call up Nintendo and they'll probably send me some games as well. Like, pretty blessed. I don't really want to. I literally was like, I don't want to go through the trouble of freeing up an HDMI port in my switcher for this unit. Like, and that, like, really, I don't want to do that. But it was a real concern, and so I go, okay, maybe it's going to be 2 or 3 days. Maybe I'm going to go over to someone's house and play it or whatever, and see that it actually is kind of cool for this one experience, and I'll get it because I'll be honest, like. The Wii Tennis sold me on the Wii.
Right.
Like, it took a shitty tennis mini game, me having fun with 3 friends to go, that's what I want. Right. But I haven't seen anybody going like, this is the experience you need to have a Wii U for. I've seen, this is kind of cool. This mini game in Nintendo Land is kind of cool. But I have not been spoken to on that, holy shit, this is an experience you need level yet. And I'm a core gamer for them. Right. I should be super psyched about this console, and to me, it's like we just had a new Super Mario Brothers experience. I don't need another one of those. I'm overloaded on zombies. I don't need any more zombie games and any more fucking war shooters. Like, where is that killer app? So when they release the Zelda game, or when they release the the Metroid game that has me going, oh, okay, this is it. I'll pay attention.
Tron mixed with Rez and house music.
Yeah, you had me at hello. You had me at hello.
The disc game.
Yeah, there's just not the experience there that has me that hooked, line, and sinkered. I did love that it got hacked day one. Did you see that?
No, it got hacked already.
Pull up the neogaf.com. Someone in the Gaming Age forums. Apparently, if you were to exit the Wii to like shut it down, if you press and held the X button on the controller, it would pop up and let you into a developer like debug menu, and it's probably in there. It's in the gaming discussion forum somewhere in there. A user by the name of Trite posted it. And he took screen grabs and posted it, and people were like, oh, this must be fake, it must be photoshopped. Now everybody's like, nah, they think it's pretty real. They think Nintendo left this easy developer backdoor in there, which was patched like 20 minutes later.
Oh, that was the big update?
Well, no, the big update was to add a lot of the online features, which weren't finished in time before they started shipping out those consoles, very last minute. But there was apparently another update, or they fixed something on their back end. But what it did was it allowed people to see potential upcoming titles that were going to be released. Like there was a discussion of a Yoshi title, a discussion of a Metal Gear title.
Oh, wow.
There was that you could see some of the back end. You could see like developer posts and fake accounts and stuff like that. Pretty funny that happened. That happened day one. I can't wait for people to hack this thing.
Yeah.
I'll be excited on like you give me that. Give me some indie homebrew scene on the Wii U. I'll be a little more excited for
the
it.
fact that it allows you to have a hard drive, I think was pretty cool. So it seems like it does have the possibility to really be a Dreamcast where we're emulating. We have every single game on an external hard drive or something.
Right. But how like wow, how telling that it just fucking came out and already it's like, well, let's see what the kids do with it.
Oh yeah.
Let's see if we can get a bootloader.
This seems like a
up and running.
hackable system because it's you have an SD card slot, you got everything.
Well, it'd be interesting. Nintendo's were routine. Like I mean, historically, they're very hackable consoles because they did not rely on any sort of online features as being an integral part of the experience. But now that they're really pushing the always online, always connected internet portion of it, that could really stifle a lot of piracy. Yeah. Because if they can detect a hacked or modded Wii U, then they brick it.
Did you have a Nintendo 3DS?
I do have a 3DS.
See, that's a system that was like this system for me. I wasn't going to buy it.
But I'll be honest, I didn't buy it.
Oh.
I didn't buy it, and that's the reason I have one. And I really enjoyed some of the games on it. I shut the 3D off on it every single time.
Yeah,
gives me a fucking headache.
Me too.
You give me 3 minutes with it, and I feel like my brain is being rewired. I literally played an Icarus game on that for like 3 days straight. I was doing some flights and stuff, and I went home and I fired up my desktop, and I literally had to do a self check of. Did I smoke anything? Like I literally had to go, oh, did I just smoke salvia and forget it? Because I saw my desktop icons push back into the operating system, and icons started like moving around and wiggling a little bit, and I saw depth in a monitor that I know is not stereoscopic. And that's when I put my 3DS down. I went, that cannot be fucking good. That cannot be at all healthy for me. That I was able to see, parallaxed effect in a monitor because I was just playing the system for a couple hours every day.
Yeah.
That's not healthy. My brain is fucking rewired.
Games do that a lot for me when I play too much. Like when City of Heroes, I was really into City of Heroes like all day, all night long. And I got to the point where I'd walk outside and be like, I'm ready to jump on that building. Wait, no, I'm not. I'm not going to jump. Like I'm just walking.
Like when you saw The Matrix,
yeah.
you're like, I could make this jump.
Yeah.
Wow. Look, I'll bounce off the concrete. It's cool.
Yeah.
So someone just linked a video, Wii U running homebrew on launch day.
Ooh.
So I don't know if it's legit, but a bunch of people just tweeted it to me. They're saying Wii U's already been hacked. That's the title of the YouTube video.
I got it.
Wii U running homebrew on launch day. Also, a lot of tweets. I got to get Eliza back in here because apparently Twitter sphere not too happy with her appearance on the podcast.
Well,
and that might be my fault.
She was chewing.
She was chewing carrots. I know. I called out that she was chewing them, but you think that's the major issue?
No, I think her Israel. Her Jew love.
Oh, you think that was a turnoff to a lot of people?
I've got a little video.
Well, but here, I want to be clear about something. Like, look, I did not offer a proper counterpoint to anything that was being said in that discussion because I was and admittedly, I knew I wasn't going into it because I need to be educated on it before I go. Well, hey, what about this? So if it sounded like it was a little one-sided and ranty, it was because it was, and that's what it was advertised as going into it. I think Eliza's aware of that. So. You can be upset that there wasn't a more fleshed out and fully rendered discussion about it, but that's my fault. That's not hers. So.
I had a huge crush on Eliza when I first met her, and I made it pretty well known on Twitter and stuff. But now I'm just kind of scared of her.
Why is that? Do you think she would just eat you for lunch?
I just couldn't imagine like getting in an argument with her. She seems like she would definitely win. And I don't know.
Well,
man.
that's why you can't be with somebody because they're gonna win arguments.
No, she just seems like a tough cookie. Like I'm really like a happy, jolly guy.
Right.
And she seems very like, yeah, I'm gonna get you. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I need to start getting more testosterone in me. I think.
Is that what it is? You think?
Yeah, but she does date like big, sports guys,
hunky, sporty types, like Hollister model types.
Yeah, I'm a football player. And stuff like that. And
man, you need to smell my protein farts. I'll clear a fucking room.
She's a tough girl, man. And her act you got to see her act.
I really need to. It bums me out that I haven't. I didn't mean to disrespect her. I was like, I haven't seen you do stand up, but I really haven't seen her do much. But
she's one of my favorites.
She sounds hilarious.
She's strong on stage.
Good.
She's a rough girl.
I liked her back when I know she got embarrassed when we brought up the MySpace Girl of the Week discussion, but like I liked her right away, and not in I joked on the last podcast like clearly I want to put it in this girl, and that's what I'm gonna be like. Not at all. Like I really respected how that, because to be fair, we had a lot of MySpace girls coming on that were not the brightest bulb in
Right.
the billboard, to say the least. Like
Right.
they were great at arcing their back and posting photos and glitter graphics on their wall, but they had nothing going on. And Eliza was really the first that came on that was like, oh, holy shit.
Yeah.
Here's a chick that does look hot on a MySpace profile. Not taking that away from her, but she has something to say, and she will cut through you, and she won't have your bullshit. So I respected her right from the start. So it's great to see that she's achieved this level of success and status, and she's doing it. I guess I'm disappointed because I feel like I may have failed as a host or an interviewer. If,
No, I
if
thought it was good.
If it came off a certain way, but that also might be me just being hyper self-aware.
Yeah, you're being hyper
self-deprecating.
self-aware. I think it was mostly just the carrots. No,
Too much vitamin C for the kids?
From doing so much podcast, that's the one thing. Like, that
Do you think
person had gone-
it probably smacks of disinterest?
It just
right?
it makes disinterest, but also it's just it's hearing somebody eat
anything.
Get,
right?
Yeah, it gets like if you hear somebody start eating Doritos for some reason and you hear their skull and it just gets to you. It's hard to. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That wasn't good. I should have put my foot down on that one. But again, I was worried that she would break my heart, and I don't mean like emotionally. I mean like rip my chest open, Mortal Kombat style, and hockey stomp, like just American history curb stomp my heart,
I know.
and then spit in my eye, and I would like it and beg for more. All right, let's get back to that.
It would be,
homebrew
you know
video.
what? That's a game show right there to improve yourself in one season, so you are man enough for Eliza to be like, "Whoa, dude, who is this hunky guy?" Like that's with the perfect body.
I pitched a show. Well, I didn't really pitch a show to a network, but I pitched it to another production company for help getting it produced.
Right.
And I'm so like, the fucking fat to thin, heartstring tugging makeover show has been done a billion fucking times.
Right.
And like, I like it. I like transformational stuff, but it's been done time and time again. I want a show that takes guys like you and I. Guys, three of us
Right.
at a time, and puts us in a fucking training camp with science pros, supplement experts,
Right.
and gives us fucking 4 weeks of intense 2-a-day training, chefs doing the nutrition, and it's just like, if you push yourself, you will fucking Wolverine out, you will get shredded, you'll be fucking insane, and then there's some crazy fitness test, like CrossFit style at the end of it,
Right.
to see who went from a fucking World of Warcraft guild leader to being totally jacked, crazy shredded, body transformational shit. And I was told that there's zero interest in the marketplace
Are
in
you
a show like
serious?
that. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
Well,
I would
you-
love to watch
you have
that,
to
and
say-
I would learn about that.
You have to say episode 1 though. They all get to do as much ecstasy and Jack Daniels as they want, and they get to go to like the best.
glutton day,
just a
right?
glutton day. But we get to do
like a
whatever
feeder.
we want.
Yeah, I think you get to have your one day send off. Like, this is the
Yeah.
last day of your normal life. You can eat all the cotton candy and Twizzlers that you want, but now you're fucking in the house.
Yeah.
Now you're in the house.
Yeah.
I would love to
You're
watch
in
that show.
Taiwan getting soapies, and you're on a.
So let's. I wonder if this
Okay.
homebrew video is
Yeah,
legit.
let's say this. All right, so.
So it looks like, okay, he's showing off. He's got a 64. He's got a Wii U or a Wii there.
Wii U down here. I'm gonna
Wii U
turn
down
that guy
below.
on.
Nintendo 64. That's
We've
fine.
got the new controller over here with its gamepad awesomeness. So that's powering up.
By the way, it's not
Showing
multi-touch,
Nintendo
is it?
Wii U logo over here.
I don't
We've
think it
got
is.
No,
1080p
the real
video
mistake.
coming in on
I think that's a
HDMI.
real mistake. And by the way, New Super Mario
this
Brothers,
guy
if you
up.
want to have more than one player, you have to they have to all be on the Wii
What I'm gonna
remotes.
do
Yeah.
here is I'm
Crazy.
Going to go
Yeah.
to the Wii
Like, you
menu.
cannot use if you want to have like 4 players, you have to have all 4 Wii remotes. You
Yeah.
can't use even though you can use the gamepad as a single player game, you can't use it in a 4
Going
player.
to the Wii
Crazy to
menu.
me. All right, so looks like he's going to the Wii menu. Wait, and another thing, if you want to play any Wii games,
I
you have to
wish I
launch
had
like an
3
emulator
hands.
for the Wii.
Are you serious? You can't just put the game in?
No, you have to launch a Wii emulator, then you can get to the Wii store and
So
play
now
the
what
games
it's
that you've
doing is
downloaded stuff. But you
it's
have to load a
rebooting
separate
in a different
program.
mode. It might be underclocking the processor. I'm not exactly sure. As you can see up here.
Yeah, see,
it's
this is what he's
actually-
talking about.
Well, I'm not sure. if
It's
you caught that,
relaunching
but,
the Wii,
it's
basically.
still getting video to the TV in 1080p, but it appears to be upscaling, judging by the.
This video narrated by
quality.
John Carmack, everyone.
Wow.
But we've got
You
just
know.
a Wii menu here.
As
It
you can
reboots,
see,
with
they've
the flag
rebooted their
set
tiles,
similarly to
and,
how,
I had a little bit of
GameCube
blood in the
mode
stool
works
last night.
on
I think it
the
was
Wii.
only Mountain Dew
There's no
Red.
GameCube mode on the Wii U.
I've
There's a channel
my meat
here
parade is
for
filled with
Wii
women that
menu.
I've fantasized
All that
about,
does
but
is
never met
reboot
in real life.
normally
But
back
they're all very
and
attractive. They are
the
designed to
menu
scale,
starts up
and
as you would expect it
I
to.
believe if I just got a chance
Find
to
out
smell
which
their essence, I could
transfer
finish in my
yet.
pants within moments.
I want to back up my Wii before I do that.
Actually, and by the way, not making fun of this guy at
no,
all.
no.
Like, because he's given us some actually really interesting information here.
He's probably a very nice
They
black
are on
guy.
the Wii.
Yes,
Here
look,
we
he's
have
had a rough
this
life. Clearly,
channel,
he's
and
in
that is
South
what matters
Central.
to us right now, because right here
Just get to it,
Smash
dude.
Bros. Brawl.
Fucking get to
Oh,
it.
was it Super Smash Bros that had the
There's an
backdoor in
exploit.
it?
Yeah, there was like a save game exploit that allowed you to do it. Okay, so basically what he's saying is that we can stop this.
Okay.
What he's basically saying is that the exploits. Eliza, stop eating carrots. You're on a shot of her.
Oh.
What would be her? Yeah, basically, he's saying that the exploits that worked on the old Wii work on the Wii U.
Right.
That you can launch them in the Wii U, which is nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if it gives you full access to the system, though, or if it only gives you to like a sectioned.
Yeah, that's
like a
weird that they
partition
didn't
portion of it or
patch
something
that
like
in
that,
the emulator. Though.
Yeah, that's weird. But also, is it really that big of an issue for them? Like, how many people are really
Oh wait.
hacking their Wii U's
wait,
to run
no,
the
this-
software? Is there something else going on?
No, you're right. It's just Wii stuff.
It's all, yeah, I bet
Wii
it's
homebrew stuff.
Yeah, it's
so.
Wii homebrew.
Yeah.
So now maybe, but see, I want to see him hold up the Wii U controller, the gamepad, and show that you get access to that, which I doubt is the case
Right.
with this, because it sounds like it's an exploit that's only taking advantage of the Wii backdoors.
Right.
I don't know. Look, bottom line is, if that's what we get most excited for, it's not a console to get on launch day. And I posed the question to a lot of people just the other week. I was like, hey, just checking the temperature. Who's getting a Wii U? Overwhelming response of like, nope, gonna wait, not interested, there's nothing for me. Now there were a handful of people that said, fuck yeah, new Super Mario Brothers. But those I think are the dedicated fanboys that are going to get it no matter what.
I still feel this is going to be a sleeper system. I think it's going to be on the shelves, and I think people are going to buy it for their boyfriends. And I think this is still going to sell because so the Wii did sell.
We sold like
Yeah.
mad, but software
Stop.
attachment was nil. So do you think it'll be a sleeper system insofar as soccer moms get it for their kids and girls buy it for
Yeah.
their boyfriends? Or do you think it'll be a sleeper system as in there's going to be a really great load of experiences on it?
No.
You're like,
No.
but it's going to be down the line.
Yeah, no, I think it's the first. I
Yeah.
think it's just going to be exactly like the Wii. It's going to have the same kind of
It might be in a coma on arrival. It's sleeping so hard.
yeah. It sucks, but whatever. I'm more.
But
I
whatever, I
can't
bought it.
wait. I can't wait for the new Xbox and the new PS3. That's all I care.
This,
about.
this is going to be a very, very interesting hardware cycle that's coming up because there's no more beating around the bush. Like, extending the life of these consoles is just crazy. Stop with the Kinects
Right.
and the moves of the world. Like, enough with that shit. The hardware is so fucking dated.
Yeah.
We need something new. But what's crazy now is like, this was a real this generation of hardware was a real baby step into beta testing ancillary media features, putting Netflix on a box and a web browser and Hulu, giving you access to IPTV. And this next iteration, they have to still appeal to a core gamer that's interested in the gaming experience and offer a next generation experience on that level. But now they've got to think, what is the next generation of streaming media? What is the next generation of those applications, of IPTV? What is the next generation of control interfaces? Does it have a smartphone app day one, like the Glass experience that Microsoft is now playing with?
Are they going to push 3D?
Are they going to push 3D? I don't think so. I think that everybody's kind of realized 3D is, it should be supported and powerful enough to do it, but that's about it. It's not going to be a sticking point. It's not going to be the feature that pops out on the brochure. It's going to be, I think, the IPTV stuff. It's going to be streaming cable. It's going to be DVR functionality. It's going to be Hulu, Netflix, day and date. It's going to be the web browser. It's going to be all those console 3.0 experiences. But they're going to have to take some risks. And that's what's interesting. They're going to have to make some bets on how we will interface with that content, how we will access it, not just day one out of the box, but what hardware is going to be needed in that box to make it interesting day 300. Day 700. And that's what I want to see. There's got to be some forward-thinking tech in the interface and in the hardware.
It's probably. Do you think it's going to be? We're going to see like an improved Connect, like a higher-end Connect, a way better Connect.
I think we have to. I think
Yeah.
connected well
I think
enough for
Connect-
them
yeah.
that they need to do it. And what will be interesting, though, is will it be something that is bundled day one?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be. Just saying that it's there and it will be supported. If you sell it as an add-on, like they did with the original Kinect, you immediately cleave into developer adoption. But they were really pushing the powered by Kinect or plays better with Kinect, motto and voice commands for your, Xbox UI, that they're pushing it hard enough that it would behoove them to release it day one as a system thing, like a core system piece.
Its powers to completely annoy you while watching a Netflix movie is my favorite part. Have you tried it with Netflix?
I shut mine off because I don't trust it. Whenever I see, I'm not kidding, when I see a green light always on a unit that has a camera looking
Yeah.
at me naked, sitting on a fucking towel on my couch, don't ask why, But when I see a Microsoft branded piece of hardware with a green light on staring at my naughty bits, I don't trust it.
Yeah,
and I believe that there are images on a server where they're not attaching it to my console ID, but someone's looking at my balls doing market research on how can we improve this experience or exploit it to sell ads against it.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make me comfortable. So I shut mine off 9 times out of 10. But it is funny to me when I'm in Call of Duty matches and people forget that their Xbox, the Kinect, the microphone is on, and it's on by default for many of these units, and they don't realize that every conversation they're having is being picked up. I've heard boyfriends yelling at girlfriends that they need more time or they need her to leave the room. I've heard amazing, amazing arguments and discussions while playing Call of Duty. And I can't believe I'm playing Call of Duty right now.
I
Can't believe it. I'm like, it's, you know what? I needed something to numb the pain for a few minutes at a time, and that one did it. But I will say there's 2 games that people need to pick up on the Indie Games channel right now. One, I think I've talked about it before, at least maybe not here, but I've definitely talked about it before. Hidden in Plain Sight. Have you heard about this game?
No.
Oh my God. I've been playing it for a while. It is amazing. It's an indie game. It's $1. Look up some videos of it because it'll really help reinforce what I'm about to say. But the idea is that, someone just said, how are you both not seeing that the Wii U is the best porn watching machine ever? I can get porn on any screen in my house. I don't need a kiddie console.
I got a phone.
Yeah, I don't need that. So Hidden in Plain Sight is all about local multiplayer, right? You need at least 2 people to play it, and it's only local, and that's part of the charm and appeal. But there's different game modes. This one here, Ninja Party, is that there's a bunch of NPCs roaming around a room. Some look like monsters, some look like knights, others just look like random dudes. And when you start the game, you don't know which character you are. Neither does anybody that you're playing with. So what you have to do is move in a way that helps you figure out who you are. So you might move down and then stop, then move up and stop, then move diagonal to the left, and then you realize, okay, that's the player that I am. While you're figuring out who you are, everybody else is figuring out who they are. Now that you know who you are, you have to move around and touch these 5 totems in the room, these 5 poles. Every time you touch a pole, a ding noise goes off, indicating that a human player has touched the pole. So what you're trying to do is walk around the room like a robot, like an NPC, trying not to get detected, but you can also stab other people. But the moment you stab somebody, you reveal yourself as a human player because the NPCs don't stab.
Wow.
So, and there's someone just dropped a smoke bomb, which helps you disguise who's in that cloud and get away. So it's this real mindfuck of a game. It's very simple pick up and play controls. Anybody can get into it, but it's a mindfuck of like, in this mode, you either want to touch all 5 poles before somebody else so you win, or kill all the other players, because once you get stabbed, you're out. So you're constantly moving around, trying to move like a robot, not giving away the fact that you're a human. You're also trying to touch these poles before everybody else, but you're also trying to keep an eye on the other poles, because when a ding noise goes off, you know that one of the other players is there. Yeah. So there's all this micro gaming going on while you're playing this game. This is just one of the game modes. They're all variations of this theme. And it leads to like crazy tactics of like, I'll walk into a corner and keep walking into a corner for a little while. So if I think someone's onto me, they go, oh, clearly that's AI. That's not Kevin. And they walk away from me. But then I got to go back and try to touch the poles.
Wow. I love the graphics style too. It's like Gauntlet.
Yeah, it's like old throwback 8 to 16-bit graphics. That mode that you were there, go back to that one, was great. It's a race mode. And so on this one, you're racing with a bunch of other NPCs. You press one button to walk, another button to run, and a bunch of the other AI-controlled characters, they will walk and run at random patterns. First to cross the finish line wins. And while you're playing, you get a crosshair that allows you to shoot anybody in one of the lanes. And you only get 1 bullet. So you're trying to guess who is the software, who is another human being, but you want to stay in the lead because first to cross the line wins. And you get 1 shot. So you're kind of moving around and going, I think this might be the person. You shoot your bullet. If you're wrong, now you got to win the race. And you can see one character, if you're looking at the video cast of this, one character is sprinting for the finish line. And you can get away with that if everybody's out of bullets. So a variation of a theme. Who's real, who's not. You're running.
Cool.
There's an assassination mode where there's ninjas in the room trying to collect coins. And you only reveal that you hear every time a coin has been collected, but you only see that a coin has been collected and when you move your crosshair over it. So there's a psychological warfare game going on between like me as a ninja trying to get the coins. I don't want to get too many in a row because you might be able to figure out where I'm at and then find who I am. But there's also a time limit and you're competing to see who can get the most coins before getting assassinated. Really, really fun, fuck your friends in the mind kind of gameplay that's really, really enjoyable.
That's really
it's
cool.
$1.
That seems like a game I'd totally get into.
It's a really that and Fish
That's
listening to
Xbox?
radio. Yeah, Xbox indie channel. It's $1. That and Fish listening to radio are my two favorite pick up and play indie games.
Fish listening to radio.
Have I not talked about that?
I don't think so.
Oh my god.
Radio.
Fish listening to radio is. I feel like this is two podcasts in one. We should probably bust this out as a special Wii U gaming podcast for those who hate carrot chomping. Fish listening to radio is a game that you play with just one stick. You just use the left stick. You are fish under the water, and there's a radio. Now there are, if you turn it up, it's pretty fantastic. What you're hearing right now, this guitar is the soundtrack to the game, and there are chomping noises. There are wires coming down that have little red worms on them. Now, you can chomp a worm on the way down, but you cannot touch a hook on the way up. If you do, you get caught, and you only have 3 lives. So you're racing to get to these worms before everybody else, but you're trying to avoid the hooks as they're going up, and it gets crazy hard. The more fish that you eat, the more colorful your character and the world get, and the more color there is, the harder it is to see the hooks. Very simple gameplay. Then the radio comes into play. Every so often, a line will come down to get the radio. If the radio goes out of the water, the game is over. So whoever has the most points wins, but you're also trying to get as many points as you can together. So it's a real, like, if I'm in the lead, fuck the radio, I'm not going to go for it. But if there's 3 other people in the game, they're going to go right for the radio because they don't want the game to be over. And again, left thumbstick, ice skate kind of physics. It's sort of floaty.
That's cool.
It's not precise controls. It's really fun. It's $1. But the other game that I'll stop ranting about, I feel like I've been ranting for a while, is Bloody Murder or Bloody Death. And it's a game made by, I'm going to say he's Ukrainian. He's not, but he's foreign, and that's very, very ignorant of me. But it's made by a team of foreigners, and Claudio Battisto or Battiato, his name is all over this thing.
It's called Bloody Death?
Bloody Death, I think, yeah. And it's a very shitty, terrible indie game with the worst acting and script you've ever seen. But it's about a killer who tries to attack a woman, and then 3 years later goes to attack her again. She gets away. And there's these quick time events where it's like, you must be pressing of the buttons if you wish to survive the horror games, is what the instructions will tell you. And you have to mash A or put in certain button combos. But the acting is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. A bad guy cuts the power at one point. He's like, oh, the game is shut off, but I was in the leading. You know, like, it's just the worst script ever, the worst acting. And it's so, if you smoke pot, you owe it to yourself to get wicked high and play Bloody Death. There it is. Terrible graphics, terrible script, terrible gameplay, and it's fucking hilarious.
Okay.
You don't need any of the audio in this right now. I mean, if you go into some of the acting, it'll kick in later because the tutorial doesn't have it. It reminds me of an old Night Trap game. Like, it shows your character faces on the side. Go back to the beginning, like a little bit back before this. It'll be, because here the power's been cut, which is why everything's fucking blue. But go back more to where it's lit. You'll see them having conversations. More, even. Sorry. Again, no pre-production here. Sorry, guys. I think it's before that.
Who the fuck wasted all
Oh, that's
this
the tutorial,
ketchup?
so it's after that.
John. That's the same chick from Hill's house. My future wife.
And this is somebody doing commentary on it that we do
right
not
there.
need to hear.
Oh, this wasn't in the game?
No, this is someone doing commentary on it. But that's better than the acting. That's better than the acting. It's, just experience it for yourself. It shouldn't be spoiled. It's a beautiful, terrible game. Like, it starts off with the guy comforting. He goes to, like, make out awkwardly with this girl. Clearly, he wrote the game. He produced it. It's this guy, Battiato or whatever. His name's all over the game. And he goes to make out with her, and she goes, "No, stop it, John." And they use, like, these very generic English, like, white names. And he goes, But Sheila, oh, is this because of the incident? The one which happened exactly 3 years ago today? Yes, it is. It's just it's the worst middle school theater ever wrapped up in an interactive game. Bloody
great.
Death. So worth spending the couple bucks on.
I want to hear the
to
real
experience
shit.
it. This is some of it. That's the guy right there. That's the guy who wrote it. Right before this is when he talks to her about the incident. Here she's going to take the showers.
Stupid.
Yeah,
There's your nudity right there.
this is
Yeah,
someone
it
doing
must-
some VO.
It must be popular to commentate on these.
It must. I mean, that I actually, when I was showing Bria this the other night, and I realized, like, I have to do a live podcast of the game and play it because it is fucking amazing.
It's like salvia or something for some reason.
It's
You
really
have to videotape yourself.
right. It's a beautiful experience. So check out Bloody Death. I feel like we failed today, Brian. Did we fail?
No, I think this was great.
I feel like the video game discussion might be something people are happy about, but man, this was the first time. And I'm hypersensitive to anything that I do or create, which is why I don't do or create much in this world. But I feel like this is the first time people are like, I hate this. Get this out of my ears. I worry that people won't have hung around long enough to hear us talk about the Wii U.
Oh, I think you're wrong. I think you're just looking at 3 YouTube comments on
Perhaps.
on your Twitter.
Yeah, I may have epic failed this one. I don't know. I was really interested in the behind the scenes of Excused. I was.
Well, it's
To an
her
extent.
fault. Her fault for wearing that shirt and that sleeve and all that necklace.
What happened? You
thing.
gave her a Death Squad shirt to put on.
Yeah, and when you were gone, she was taking off her clothes and just like, should I?
Of course. The moment I left. The moment I left.
Do you like the taste? I wish. That's what I was thinking.
All right. Any gaming stuff you want to yap about, or should we wrap this bad boy up?
None that I could think of. No.
Yeah, I feel like we're limping across the finish line. Normally, I feel like it's the arms in the air, the ticker tape across the nipples. There's some confetti going off. Maybe someone handed me a Propel and a little cup, and I shot it down. But man, oh well. Oh, someone's asking what's the name of the game that we were talking about. If you can't rewind, it's Hidden in Plain Sight. That's the one they were talking about, where you don't know who you are. Right. Hidden in Plain Sight. Very, very fun game. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I shouldn't have steered us into the Israeli-Palestine conflict. Maybe I should have kept it at dating and dogs.
Well, she was very, very strong on her opinion that Pakis or Israelis never kill children or something.
Yeah, and I don't know that that's the case.
And I almost wanted to dig into that, but I was like, oh, you better not.
Well, again, I don't have the knowledge on that. I don't know that that's the case. And I also don't know that they don't have like Iron Shield missile defense systems and U.S.-backed and sanctioned weaponry while the people who are attacking them have sticks and stones. I don't know the intimates or the particulars. So at some point, I'll have to bring somebody on who is well-versed in all that. That was on deck for today and then sort of let it go. Hey, you know what? Whatever. I'm going to stop being
I think it was a great
child
episode.
about it. I don't know. It wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
Nobody likes it, and I don't think I'm pretty anymore. I should have worn glitter gloss. Check out me on Twitter, K Pereira, Kpereira. I really should have just gone with Kevin P. Find me on the Twitter sphere. You can watch my interactive game show, Let's Ask America, at let'saskAmerica.tv. Sign up to be a contestant. Why should you care? Because you can win $50,000 playing a game from your webcam. I've had fans that were on Twitter. They signed up. They won thousands. So it could be you. It's a really fun show. We have a lot of fun doing it, so sign up for that. You can also check me out on Sci-Fi. I'm hosting a show called Viral Video Showdown. Highly recommend, believe it or not, the new Deftones album. If you're a fan of the kind of just the drive and rock kids, get all up in that. It's fun times. You also loved Feed Me last time,
dude,
which is great. Did you check out End Machine?
Yeah, I like Feed Me better though. But
I figured you would.
I've been listening to Feed Me nonstop.
Feed Me's great, and Seven Lions is also another good one.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm
if you like the electrical noises of the Feed Me, I think you'll like Seven Lions. They're a little more house, like a little more progressive. Feed Me's a little more dubsteppy, almost trip hop at times, but
they have good drops.
They have great drops, and I think Seven Lions not so much on the drop, but man, it's fun. I think that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We chatted some Wii U. Maybe I'll get one in 2 days and come back and be like, yeah, I'm that fucking guy.
I can't wait.
I probably will be that guy.
I know you will.
I'll probably be that guy.
I'm gonna start sending photos to you.
I don't know when this is coming out, but you probably already had a Thanksgiving, so I hope it was a happy one. I hope you didn't get trampled on Black Friday. And kisses, hugs, belly rubs. Thanks for listening.